Okay, I'm. Why has this been bugging out? I have no idea why this is doing this. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This didn't really. My computer's been having a hard time lately. Like actually doing stuff. Can you not be lagging, please? Gosh, I should just drop so many frames.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the 2026 Pokemon World Championships and Pokemon XP.
Oh my gosh.
While we're at it, let's give it up one more time for our fabulous dancers and the 8-bit big band. I mean, come on. No matter when you first discovered Pokemon, I hope hearing those medleys from our orchestra transported you back to some happy and cheerful memories. Hi, I'm Gabby Durden. I'm your host for this weekend's festivities. And just like you, I've loved Pokemon since I was a small child, forming my first core memories. So I'm beyond honored to be here on this stage, coming to you live from San Francisco, California.
Oh, Twitch. Please don't fail me now.
This weekend is extra special for all of us. One part of our event commemorates the hard work of our trainers as they conclude their journey to become world champions across 4 titles. Pokemon Champions, the Pokemon Trading Card Game,
Okay.
Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Unite.
Let's go! Pokemon Unite!
And even more adventure awaits with our first ever Pokemon XP, where we couldn't be more excited for you to join us for activities, panels, attractions, and much more throughout the weekend. All right, 2 incredible events, 1 unforgettable weekend, and you better believe we're gonna make sure it's one for the record books. But I think we should get things started, shall we?
Let's do this. I'm
It is
so
my
excited for
pleasure
this. The
to
final,
introduce to the
the
stage the
teams
president
that
and
I've been
CEO of the Pokemon Company,
that I'm going
Mr.
for are,
Tsunekazu Ishihara.
or that I chose that I think are gonna win, are Pokemon what is it? I think Reject might win this. I think Fennel's gonna get second, and Root Dig's probably gonna get third. Root Dig is probably I think they're good. I think there are better teams in Asia.
Hello trainers and welcome to the 2026 Pokemon World Championships and Pokemon XP.
会場にお集まりいただいた皆さん、 そして世界中からライブ配信をご視聴していただいている皆さんにまずは心より感謝申し上げます。
First, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to everyone gathered here today, as well as all of you from around the world joining us online.
世界チャンピオンの座をかけて競技に挑む方もご家族やご友人とともにポケモン XP を楽しむために来られた方もこの場で一緒にポケモン30周年を迎えられることを大変嬉しく思います。
And whether you're here to compete for the title of World Champion or you've come with family and friends to enjoy Pokemon XP, I'm truly delighted that we can all be here together on Pokemon's 30th anniversary.
It is the
ポケモン
30th anniversary.
XP の数々の体験から日曜日にケースセンターで行われる決勝戦までこの週末はたくさんの楽しみが待っています。トレーナーの皆さんにとって忘れがたい週末になることを確信しています。
And from all the exciting experience we have waiting for you at Pokemon XP to the World Championship Finals we're going to have at Chase Center on Sunday, this weekend is sure to be a lot of fun and one that I think trainers will remember for many years to come.
ここにたどり着くまで戦い続けてきた選手の皆さんの努力、情熱、そして挑戦し続ける姿はいつの日かこのステージに立ちたいと願う未来のトレーナーたちの憧れとなり希望となっています。
And to all of the competitors who have battled their way here, truly your hard work,
As long as I don't
passion,
touch anything,
determination inspire
everything will
future
stream
trainers to dream
perfectly
of one day
fine.
standing on this very stage. You truly
I'm
represent
so
both an
excited. I'm gonna be
aspiration and
honest.
a
I'm
source of
so
hope for the
excited for
next
this.
generation.
Mid-offs was
皆
last
さん
week.
が今日
Pokemon
ここにい
Unites
る
this
ことが
week.
次の世代への夢をつないでいます。このことに誇りを持って最後まで全力で競技を楽しんでください。
Just by being here today, you are helping pass those dreams on to the future. Take pride in that and enjoy every moment of the competition as you give it your best to the very end.
それでは健闘をお祈りしています。
And with that, I wish you all the best of luck in your battles.
Let's go.
Thank you, Mr. Ishihara, for setting the stage. Oh, so beautifully. Ooh, 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 ooh. I can feel the energy in this room. I can sense the excitement to compete. More than 2,000 trainers have descended upon San Francisco to test their skills and fight with all their might to become the next Pokemon World Champion. Competitors, the time has come. Please make your way over to the play tables to kick off your matches.
Let's go.
And before we get into the action, our casters are prepped to walk you through everything in store this weekend. So everybody, let the 2026 Pokemon World Championships
Woohoo!
begin!
Woo! Let's go. The animation has gotten
Pokemon
better.
event, 30 years
bit.
in the making, and a Unite World Championship, 5 years in the making. Our final Pokemon Unite champion will be crowned here in just a few short
Let's go,
days. Hi,
Sprayos.
everybody. Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yee to the ha. I am joined by the one and only Zoinks to start our broadcast.
Oh my gosh,
today.
she's not
Zoinks,
casting
what
with
an unbelievable weekend we have, and also
what happened
one
to
of the
his duo
craziest
partner?
day
Is
ones
he not? It is
possible.
not.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't have planned it
Wait,
any better.
wait,
What
where's-
a epic
there's Duke
group
Snaps.
stage
I
we
thought-
have set for
isn't
you
everyone-
day number 1, but this entire week
I thought they
is just
were.
gonna be unbelievable. I cannot
oh,
wait. All right, taking a
Dark
look at our
Peach
groups, these teams
is
come from all
the
around
only
the
China
world,
team,
and
I
you got the
think,
chance to actually do this
which is
group
really
stage
funny.
draw. Jake, you did a great
Reject, I think, is
You're
gonna
the first person to
Reject
say
and
that. Thank
Root
you so
Dig.
much. I've been
Wait a
asking
second.
everyone
I
if
might
did a
have.
good job, and everyone
Never
just
mind.
seems
I might have.
stonewall.
I might have made
Taking
it.
a
I
look at
forgot
these
that they were in the
groups here,
same
we have some
team.
unbelievable teams. These are the world championships There isn't a single
If
dud
Reject doesn't
amongst
win
these
it
groups,
win against
but there
Root
are
Dig,
some real bright
something
lights as we move
my
through the
number
teams
one
that we
pick's gonna
expect to
be
very,
be
very
over. I forgot they were in the
competition.
same
As I
group.
bounce down to Group F here, I'm looking at a team like Fennel.
Yeah.
Group F
Well.
for Fennel, a team that could easily be seen on Championship Sunday in the huge Chase Center with 20,000 people watching Japan once again win our World Championship. There are so many other teams that we want to highlight here. Why don't you take your pick, Zoinks?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, let's keep it in Japan for a little bit. Let's talk about Reject down in Group H. Obviously, one of the most exciting groups we're going to be talking about all weekend long, but this team has Overlord, a two-time world champion from North America who went overseas to play in Japan. This player has had a great season so far, a lot of silver medals. However, at this World Championships, they could take it all, but we got so many regions getting out of Japan. We got Peru Unite from Latin America South defending their title here after a really wild season, but winning the Latin America Regional League.
Peru Unite is
Okay,
the kind of
if
team that
two
wins
teams
when
move
it
on,
counts. And you know what I've
Yeah.
noticed?
then
It seems to count.
I
They
didn't
are
I
our
didn't
reigning
totally
world
screw myself.
champion,
Yeah.
beating Japan last year in Anaheim. They
From
are in
each
Group
group,
G with some
I
stiff
think Evil
competition.
Geniuses will move
Komai,
on.
extremely
I think
strong team out of
Onyx
EU
Rise will
with
move
multiple
on.
players who have been on that
I don't know
grand
any of
final
these
stage
people from
before.
Group B.
So this is going to be very
Team Pepsi,
exciting.
I
Group
know
H, as we talked
Fuzzy
about
Esports
before,
is pretty
the H
good.
stands for
It's probably
Holy,
these two.
what happened here? Reject, Root
Zeta
Dignitas,
T1 are
Stamina
probably moving on
Esports.
from
the
Group E.
only people excited about Group H are
Is it
you and
buffering?
me, everyone
I don't
at
know.
home, and all of the other teams. But for the three teams
Group
in
F.
Group H, this is
Excuse
the
me, I
craziest
don't
group
want
I
to be
have
I don't
ever
want to hype
seen
anything.
on the world stage. This is
Fennel
unbelievable. Three teams
and
that you could say could make it to the grand
Lunex
finals,
is doing
maybe win
pretty
the
good.
entire thing. And one of
Komai,
them, Zoinks, is going to be heading home here today.
Komai and
It's
Peru,
unbelievable.
these
I
two
mean,
are
you can't
definitely
look any
probably
direction
going
and miss
to
a
win this
storyline
Group
in
G.
this one.
Group
Obviously,
H is
Overlord
Reject
versus
Root
their
Dig,
former
definitely.
teammate Onyx, a natural rivalry between Japan and North America, but Reject has some beef with Stamina Esports from last year, as that was the team that dispatched them from the group stage in the first place. So many interesting things to look at in that group, and like you said, so many incredible teams here that we could be talking about. Two that I'm actually interested in and how they're going to look over the weekend is in Group B and C, and it's BH3 Esport and Gremio Esports as well. These two teams, dominant runs during the regional league. Top of the pile in both of their respective regions in EU and in Latin America, but on that main stage have struggled to get those major results. This is going to be that major chance. They are in that top seed side of these group stage draws and have a chance to break away from their norms and make it into that bracket stage in day number 2.
And an interesting thing about both of those squads is they were unbelievable in
Oh my gosh, I got the
groups,
sticker.
EU and Latin
I'm eligible now to
respectively.
get the sticker
However,
for
both
Pokemon
of them
Unite.
didn't win the top spot. Komai
You guys should
taking down
tune in at
BH3,
least a
and
little
then
bit to
Peru
get the
Unite
sticker if
taking
you
down
guys are
Gremio
interested
at
in
the time Force. So this
in
is a
Pokemon
really
Unite.
interesting situation for these teams. So consistent all year long, but can they perform when it matters? Can they win when everything is on the line? And this weekend, everything is on the line. As we're taking a look at these groups, we should probably let you know exactly what's going to happen here with these groups. There will be 2 teams progressing forward from every single group that you see. So a group with 3 teams, 1 team will be heading home, and a group with 4 teams, 2 teams will be leaving here today. Every single match counts. The difference between even losing to a team 0-2 as opposed to 1-2 is so important, Zoinks.
Yeah, tiebreakers have taken down phenomenal Unite teams in every single World Championship. So you got to be on your A game, not for nothing, because you are playing for some major cash prizing as well. The first place of this tournament will be walking away with $100,000 awarded to the team. That's a $20,000 payout for every single player at this event.
Yeah, I can tell you when I look at this prize pool, it just makes me upset. Why can't I have some of the prize pool, I always say. But they point out very reasonably that I can never compete at this level.
Yeah, it's the temperament they take that conversation in stride with is truly incredible. The rage you bring in and their temperance, very, very impressive.
I gotta say, everyone here is so professional with how they handle me when I'm having a tantrum. It's just really nice the way everyone handles it. But all joking aside,
I'm
this is
guessing.
amazing.
Oh man, there's just so many good individual. I'm guessing there is still. There still is a prize.
course, leads
Oh, I
to
love the
Championship
transitions. They're
Sunday.
so good
It
this year.
leads to the
They really
Chase
stepped
Center,
up the
which
budget.
got to walk around a little earlier, and I can tell you it's going to be the craziest thing you've ever seen on the world stage for Pokemon on Championship Sunday is going to be unforgettable. It is going to be incredible.
Yeah, the arena show in Anaheim was such a highlight. Maybe my favorite moment from any World Championships ever, and we have leveled up so much with the Chase Center. It is going to be a giant venue, packed to the brim with fans and players cheering on Pokemon competitors, and it'll be an epic conclusion to Pokemon Unite at the World Championships in a major, major way.
No question about it. Let's take a look at our format for this weekend. Throw it on the video. Woo! On the video.
Oh, it's over there.
Let's dive into the format for Pokemon Unite at the 2026 Pokemon World
Why is it
Championships.
quiet? It feels really
The
quiet.
best teams from around the globe are here to compete for their share of a $2 million prize pool and the coveted title of Pokemon Unite World Champions. The competition spans 3 days. Day 1,
never mind.
teams compete in
We're
group
good. It
stages
might be a
in a
little loud.
best-of-3
Sorry, guys.
round-robin format with only the top teams remaining.
I'll turn
On
it
day
down a
2,
little
those
bit.
top teams compete in a single elimination bracket, battling in best-of-3 matches until the semifinals, which shifts to best-of-5. The final 2 teams will compete in a winner-takes-all best-of-5 series on Championship Sunday. These teams have been competing all year round just for this momentous occasion. Let's see who will rise to the top and become your 2026 Pokemon Unite World Champions. Thank you very much, past me.
That was incredible. I was about to thank Curran you, but that's my mistake. We have to thank
past me. I
That's
did that in
true.
the past. Every time I record that, by the way, I swear my energy's way better. And then I hear it, I'm like, come on, man.
Oh no. Why is it lagging again?
This is the World Championships right now.
Yeah, it's true. But hey, you explained the format extremely well. So you definitely fit the bill in that one. I can't wait. We talked about a group stage, single elimination, all ending with an epic best-of-5 on Championship Sunday. That's going to be exciting. In the meantime, though, we got some best-of-3 to be talked about in that group stage. We are working in our map selection format, but I believe we'll be starting on Groudon for the entirety of this tournament as the set-in-place first map. And after that, it'll be up to the teams to decide where we go into games 2 and 3.
That's right. The losing team has the option of choosing either the map or where they want to go. Either, starting first, starting second here. A lot of teams might want that priority pick in drafts so they get that first Pokemon.
Yeah.
I've noticed other teams totally fine with kind of allowing that pick to go to the other side, almost counter-picking 2 in a row, which I think is really exciting. Groudon, my personal favorite map, by the way.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love it, but teams have some really interesting styles, and there are certain teams that have wildly different win rates depending on the map. Our first matchup of the day is probably the craziest matchup. We have to start with it. It's going to be Root Dignitas from North America, Reject from Japan. They are getting ready on the big stage
go.
right now. This is the run back from
I'm excited.
ACL. We
Super
saw
excited.
Dignitas dispatch Reject at
Let's
the start
go.
of the day. Reject climbing all the way through the losers bracket at ACL to run
If
back
Reject
into Dignitas
crawls
and
its
then
way
beat
back,
them. So
it would be
as
really
you
funny.
mentioned, Zoinks, there are 8 million storylines to this. This is one of the most important matches that you are going to see this entire weekend. With no
Man, my 2
exaggeration,
teams.
this means
I
so
want
much
Reject
that
to
we're
win.
starting.
I'm still.
I love it. We are kicking off the tournament with an absolute
Luminosity
heater.
was always
Clearly,
my like
storylines
Black
surrounding
Hand,
these teams, of
Luminosity.
course, in
I
their
was
previous
always
history,
going
but
for
how
them,
about these
and now
players
that they've
as well?
broken
Like
up,
some
I'm still
storied
kind of
players
going
on
for their
both
teams.
sides. Pee-wee,
So,
one of the,
like,
kind of elite
Reject,
members of the Pokemon Unite
I
community
know
who
is
has been
Splash
able to play in
Can
every single World Championship since
is
the
on
get-go,
I don't remember
as
what
well
team
as
they're
a
on,
lot of members
but-
of that Root Dignitas team. So seeing this clash is going to be
But,
extremely interesting. Stylistically, these teams also do
I-
some really fun things. Reject at Asia Champions League.
But
was
then
really
Reject
fun
is
to
NA.
watch with kind of their lack of defender play.
But when do we
across
ever
the
go for our
board. They don't
region,
really have
right?
that traditional tank player. They make up for it in spades with some really interesting strategies.
And we're also, of course, looking at 2 teams with very different strategies, very different takes on the game, and people that are playing at the absolute highest level. I mean, every single player that you were looking at on these 2 squads could be considered the
If they just
best
give
in their
Overlord
incredible.
the
So we talked
reins
earlier about
for-
Otter. For my money, he might be one of the best attacker players to ever.
If they give
ever do
Overlord
it.
the reins to like an
Unbelievable.
all-rounder,
And you know, looking over,
they
of
should be
course, to a
fine.
team like Reject, we have to mention
Right?
the two-time world champion Overlord, leaving North America, heading to Japan, like a complete
Well,
change
no one
of
cares
scenery
about
for him,
Pokemon
trying to
Pocket
figure out
or the
exactly how he
TCG.
was
We're
going to
watching
make it
Team
work
Unite
in a
here.
completely different meta,
You wanna
a
go-
completely different region, and now once again rising to the top, considered one of the best teams in the world. And it cannot be overstated, the winner of this match, it is so unbelievably important. If you walk away with a 2-0 against the other squad, it does not mean that if you beat Reject here, or Reject beats Dignitas here, that that team is gone.
No.
But man, the match coming forward for them against Stamina is going to be insane. You beat Reject right now, or you beat Dig right now, you are feeling great.
Yes, oh my word. I mean, we're starting it off in a major moment. We're also excited to see this match, but yes, it is one of the most important matchups we are going to see all day long, and these teams are going to be locked in for this one. I'm sure these teams have been doing their best to prepare specific strategies for one another. That's one of the best parts about the World Championships. Having this pre-show happen a few weeks or even a month before the event gives teams a little bit of time to try to find niche strategies they can either build for the entirety of the tournament or specifically prepare for the opponents in front of them.
You know, since we last saw a lot of these teams, Zoinks, the meta has shifted around a lot. I think
Yeah.
it's something really interesting. Of course, we've had a ton of huge releases recently. Soul
I'm so
Galeo
excited.
and
This
Restaurant
is
coming
gonna
to the
be a
game. Both of
crazy
those are
first
too
match of the
recent
day. I'm
to
glad they
play
decided to
here
do it
in our
as
World
like the number
Championships.
one match.
However,
I
we are
do
looking
wonder
at
if I'm gonna hear a
possible
story
situation where
when
Yveltal,
Ender comes back being like,
Palkia are making
they
their
moved
way,
our game up from
Quabble, Skeletor,
later in the day, so we had
Meganium,
no
like
time
so
for
many
to
things that
prepare.
have not seen competitive play, and I think there are so many question marks out there. What actually is the meta going to look like? As we are taking a look at the hall here, this place is unbelievable, and that's just a quarter of one side of this entire event.
Yeah, this is a fraction of the event we are taking a peek at right now. There is so much to see and experience this year's World Championships, of course, with the addition of Pokemon XP as well. There's multiple broadcasts taking a look at everything all over the venue, but here on the main stage is where we're going to be focused on for this show. And like you just mentioned, we are starting off with this absolutely incredible one. Love the Unite backdrop for our stage this time around, by the way. That castle, a fun note. I don't know if anybody at home can see it quite yet, but there's some unknowns hanging out on the top of our little fort behind the Unite player stage. You can see them there, and they do got that SF look.
Oh yeah, that is very cool. I love it. Yeah, I mean the level they have gone to for this event is unmatched from anything I've seen from Pokemon. And I've seen some really amazing stuff between Yokohama and London, Honolulu, Anaheim. This tops all of it. It is going to be a very special weekend. So of course we start with a very special matchup here. I think this is the matchup that everyone wants to see first. At ACL, Zoinks, Dignitas 2-0
Like, yeah,
Reject.
why are we
to
lagging?
Start the tournament, and they looked incredible.
Yeah.
Reject looked shaky. Now, Reject later came back and got their revenge against Dignitas, but Dignitas started incredibly solid, and I do feel like the way this match starts is going to be so important. If Reject can disrupt Dignitas, if they kind of throw them off of their game a little bit, I think Dignitas is going to be in trouble. If they cannot do that, we might see that flawless Dignitas playstyle that we have seen throughout the season. There are some matches when you watch Root Dig and you think there's absolutely no team that can beat them right now. But I do feel like they can get shaken.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot to be. The other half of this coin is, I feel like both of these teams tend to be day two teams. When we talk about them in these major tournaments, Dignitas and Reject, sure, they've had some big wins early on in these events, but when we tend to see the most success out of these rosters, it's when something clicks into the day two of competition.
Why are we lagging?
And they start to look unbeatable.
From ACL, they started
Bro,
very
I might have to
strong
turn
Dignitas.
down the quality.
From
Turning it down a
ACL,
little
they
bit.
started very strong.
See if
It's so
that'll
funny
fix
how this happens in
fix
Unite.
this.
And Hinder,
Stupid.
who is on Dignitas, has said this to me. There's
I'm pretty sure
something
this
so
actually comes
difficult
down to my
about
keyboard.
beating a team twice.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the first time it feels like something you can do, but the second time, really tough. Well, here we are, the third time between Dignitas and Reject to start our day at the World Championships. We are heading into our draft. Groudon is our map, and we're taking a look at the bans here.
Okay, yeah, Comfey being banned away makes a ton of sense for me with Root Dignitas. This has kind of been a ban from them for feels like a couple of years now. Machamp being banned, really interesting from Reject. They were one of those teams that was making that Machamp Espeon combo look elite at the Asia Champions League.
Here we go. Zugrug looking for our first pick here. They're grabbing Blastoise right away. Now, this is a Pokemon that's gotten so much play in our eastern regions. It's always been a powerful defender, but I am shocked to see it first. And that's going to give Reject the opportunity to grab
It might be the lack of space I have on this computer.
some insanely powerful all-rounders. They instantly lock in Zacian, and they take Mew away from
Zacian has been a
Otter, who,
power
what
pick
a
for
Yeah, I feel like that is a great choice. Now, they are leaving things like Psyduck and Snorlax on the
for,
table here. That is going to be the
like,
biggest
competitive
gap
players.
or surprise for me with Reject leaving it on the table. And okay, Ender also going to leave the Psyduck, and they're going to lock in the Eldegoss, but I mean, Zealot on the Quab.
I love to see it. I feel like this Pokemon has had such a glow up since it got released. Multiple buffs. And now it does feel like if you can get online with this early and start winning, it is hard to shut it down. Another Pokemon that I absolutely love is Eldegoss right now. Feels very powerful. Over to the side of Reject, another all-rounder grabbed.
Yeah, and you're going to pair it with the Clefable, right? So a very big brawl playstyle will enable those amazing heals from Clefable. And right now, Root Dignitas don't have a ton of poke damage to add into that anti-heal category. But how about this? Espeon and Alolan Raichu getting put together in tandem.
You absolutely love to see it. Espeon, probably the strongest attacker in some of these compositions. The secure potential is just unbelievable from it. And Alolan Raichu, also another Pokemon that just recently got buffed and came right back into the meta. Overlord with our final pick here.
Oh, I can't believe they're using Quaquaval. I know it's like decent.
Most likely we are going to
I'm glad Clefable's being used.
Right? Those rapid strikes moving around the battlefield very quickly.
Comfey.
Once it hits level 5, it's one of the best things going in the game.
Yeah, it makes sense why
Reject,
what is his
that
name?
thing starts cooking,
For alligators
it might take over.
being banned.
There's a lot of crowd control on the side of Root Dignitas to try to interrupt these combos, slow down the Urshifu a bit. Espeon stuns as well as Blastoise just being a constant problem. I think that's why we're seeing that double attacker slot into the bottom for Root Dignitas. They are going up against a brawl-heavy composition. They want to keep at that medium range, get a ton of damage done, and also play it safe, avoid that physical damage. The Reject's going to have to rotate really early to some of these major objectives and set the fight on their terms. Make Root Dignitas come to them.
Yeah, if I'm looking at this here, Toon, I feel like on the Alolan Raichu, that could schmoo. That can get away from the Urshifu a little bit. Blastoise with some, great screens, pushing them away. The Surf, the Hydro Pump. Otter, I'm worried about. I think Otter is the target here for Reject, right? If they can get to that Espeon, this will be big trouble for Dignitas. So we're going to see a huge clash between these two strategies, between these two titans. To start our day, we are taking a look at our battleground. Thea Sky Ruins with Groudon hanging out in the center. Here we are, the first match of the World Championships. Root Dignitas, your purple team. Reject, your orange team. Let's get this thing started.
This is so fun. I can't wait.
I can't believe they have like crazy shots like this. This is insane.
Dominating the bottom path.
The production has definitely gone up.
Even in the early game with Espeon having some decent secures, that is a big Pokemon on the opposite side. Satake is going to be using that Pokemon to dominate as quickly as they can and get a level advantage.
Espeon online immediately right here, and they are looking for that secure. They move in, going for Zugrug, but they are able to take the experience there up to our top path. Toon scoring already.
Wow, all right. right. That is some major focus from Root Dignitas to get a KO early. Inder on that Eldegoss just A-pressing into the enemy side, and Toon's gonna be doing the same with that sword power Alolan Raichu. Wow, Overlord in a lot of trouble and gets caught right away.
He got
by
it. He
Toon.
got caught out.
That
He
new
shouldn't have
sword
got
power
in. You
buff
can't
being
beat
incredible
a
as they
level
head towards
6
these birds
Alolan
right now,
Raichu.
seeing what they can take.
That's
Actually
stupid.
trying to get Pavoni to move in here. Finally, the secure Zealot evolves here. Quaxley is gone. Man, this Alolan Raichu or maybe anti-synergy into Reject is really interesting. Those auto attacks that are boosted autos that chain into multiple enemies make Clefable's close quarters healing kind of a detriment sometimes. You saw Urshifu getting chased down by a little boosted attack as the Clefable brought it closer to them. Tough look, but so far, Reject need to find a way back into this early game.
Yeah, and now we have
Clefable's
here in the center of the map, 15
so
seconds till
unbelievably
Reggie Drago.
good.
The question is, does anyone want to fight over it? Otter hiding in the tall grass here. Satake not able to contest this. Zugrug with a beautiful reposition of that experience right
All
there.
of Reject is
Every little
bot.
point matters.
Right?
Overlord now not yet level 7, but looking for a fight.
Yeah, they want to push this damage onto Reggie Drago. Toon waiting in the wings. A lot of damage to Pavoni already.
Here we go, Overlord looking for their moment, having to peel back right here. Pavoni healing up the team. Reggie Drago getting low. They have good secure potential on the side of Reject, but absolutely
this was
set
close.
there by Dignitas. The Solar Beam was perfect, by the way, but it just couldn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that play by Reject is probably correct. You've already started losing that fight. You lost some leverage. You played your only out in the long-range damage from you, but Root Dignitas just set up that play extremely well. Zugrug, even at this War Turtle level, is able to dominate so much space in that middle of the map. The stuns from that Pokemon are devastating to deal with.
Overlord moving in. Zealot in a lot of trouble right here, having to peel back towards this goal zone as 4 members of Reject just decide to put the points in the top half.
Let's go,
we have
Reject.
4 members of Dignitas in the bottom path.
Can I
These
go
teams
bot?
are splitting. Zealot's in a lot of trouble, chasing him into the central area, and they pick up the KO.
Nah, they're just gonna let them break it, bot. They
They
just traded it. No, they didn't break top, so that's interesting.
Massive overdunk, putting them at 141 and in pole position to take down that Reggie that spawned on the bottom side of the map.
That's right, the bottom Reggie is being worked on. It was Reggie Rock taken there by Inder the Eldegosses. Now we have 4 members of Dignitas deciding where they want to go. Pavone moving to the top of the map. Zugrug is with them. That is all 5 members. Are they going to push towards the top path and the top objective?
Zealot moving around this map is Kukuama. I will never not laugh at the movement animations of that Pokemon, but they are getting within range, and now that they finally hit their final evolution mark, have a bit more to bring to the fight. Big surf engage by Zugrug.
Overlord moving in, peeling back there to the HP recovery from Pavone. A huge surf, and Overlord saved right there by a
They're just all letting Overlord just do their thing.
And it goes over to Dignitas. Both objectives now in their hands.
Yeah,
They're not letting him go in like they did with
has all the room in the world
I think
to
because
take down that major objective.
what's his name?
Reject are trying to play from behind right now and steal some EXP, but Zugrug again, and Espeon from the other side.
Espeon moves in, huge side shot. Here comes Zugrug with the eject button. They're looking for Overlord. The Hydro Typhoon doesn't take them down. Pavone peeling back with the heals. Reject is running away from Dignitas right now as Pavone recognizes it is going to need to put up a screen so that Reject does not go
my
down.
gosh.
5 members of
Reject's
Root
been
now
pushed
in the
back a
central area of
lot.
Reject, and just for a moment, we have a bit of calm as Pavone gonna go ahead and stack up a little bit.
Yeah, to try to get back up to that Unite move probably as they will eventually get
They're
knocked out
dead.
here, but
They're
gonna
so
take an
unbelievably
decent
dead.
amount of time off the clock. Otter gonna take that last hit. Root Dignitas just playing a remarkable early game. Reject having to play to their outs as now we have Satake into the opposite side as well. Quabble will get that KO. Overlord seeing if they can trade one back, but it will not happen.
Haruto looking for 40. Oh my gosh, that final kick moving forward here. Zealot's in some trouble right now, though. There are 2 against 1 in this top path, trying to stop them from scoring, but realize it might be a fruitless endeavor. That goal zone is going to go down. Incredibly
It's better to
close,
let them
but
score
so
than
much trouble
die
right
from.
now. If the healing core of Reject goes down right there, they can't take this fight. But now, Overlord moves forward. Reggie Steele at half, ripping through it with the stored power. Here comes Satake, but no, once again, Otter with the beautiful secure.
Yeah, that double attacker duo are so strong, and now they have a damage buff to work with. Eventually, the Blastoise will will go down. Something I wanted to say before too, Root Dignitas able to force 2 fights during that Regirock buff last time around. Really, really impressive stuff, and punishing that central area invade that Reject has tried a few times. Now, all things considered, Reject, after that really big overdunk on the top side, have kept the scores quite close, but Root Dignitas has so much working in their favor. Momentum and experience are all in favor of this NA squad right now.
Otter looking for some experience here on the Regidrago as we have Reject, kind of an easy secure for them in the top path. Regieleki walking. Drago should go over here to Dignitas. Overlord possibly trying to get there, but no, just a little too late. Couldn't get enough vision for Pui there. Couldn't get the secure. And now we have Reject on a bit of a mission in the central area, looking for Toon.
Oh man, timing just a little bit off there to catch them into that tall grass. Unite move will take them down though. That Nova Blast from Haruto will find the last hit, and that's onto the enemy central area player.
And here we go. Haruto now peeling off as we have Reject fighting at this goal zone. Zugrug, however, the water wall pushing them back. The absolute tide sent out from this Pokemon pushes back all members of Reject, and they realize they just can't take this goal zone now. Zealot, Satake fighting in the top path here. Quaquaval actually zoning out the Zacian.
Quaquaval's healing
Yeah, I mean,
is
HP
too
could
much.
be more different, but with
Zacian
some
can't beat that
enhanced
without a
Halo
healer
synergy
with them.
uses for that Zasha, that maybe they were looking for the fight, but in the end, it'll be Quaquaval hanging out in that top half basically the entirety of this match. Eventually had to forego that goal zone, but that will be both the Eldegoss and that top path all-rounder picking up a lot of EXP.
Zoinks, this match has been incredibly close so far.
Yeah.
A lot of fights going both ways. It feels like Dignitas has had the upper hand in some of the bigger engagements, big plays from the Blastoise.
I mean,
and
Clefable
huge
has
cures,
its
and now they kinda got
plus
an objective
move
for
on
free here in the
what is it
bottom
called?
half.
Yeah,
Moonlight.
that is a
So it
lot
should
to
be,
work
it's
with,
fine.
especially for Reject,
It would be
and they're
good to
playing
get
the aggressive
the
route
plus
yet
move on
again.
its
Watch your mini-map. Look
follow
at
me.
where this orange team is rotating to. That's
Also,
a 50
Root
point attempt
has
with
Root
2:20
Dig has
left on the
gotten
clock, so it won't be
every
in double
single
scoring, but still 50
over
points will
overcast.
give Reject the lead. Haruto is caught out though. That means the Surfetch has to dive away, and they will make it back to the safety of the Clefable.
Yeah, Clefable with the healing right there. Huge screen. The question is, who's going to start this fight? This is going to be huge. Big time Solar Beam. Overlord's moving in.
Wow, that's so much damage already. Zulgrug the only one to take real estate as Groudon is dominated by Root Dignitas so far. Poke damage from you is not going to be enough to push away Root Dignitas, and they have already picked their target.
Oh my god, Overlord, why is Overlord going in? Overlord just went in without anyone on his team.
Zugrug right now looking to push them away from
Why
the
would he
objective.
do-
Dignitas
why
in a
would he
great
do that?
position, but they have incredible secure
He just
from
went in
Reject.
without
They
the
are
rest,
fully
any of the
forward
rest of
with
his
Groudon.
team.
They're trying to take Mew. We have 2 attackers on the side of Dignitas looking for the KO, but no, it does not go down. Overlord now coming off cooldown here. He's back.
Now that is
Oh,
going to be
Overlord's back,
totally
it's fine.
forced
We're
into
good.
the recall. That's
Oh,
too
but
much
Overlord
damage.
has
They can't
used his
safely make it
Unite.
back to Clefable.
He uses
You see
Unite
Zulgrug getting
against,
to the top side of the map to prevent exactly that. Satake will be able to dodge away with that enhanced agility, and still Root Dignitas dominate the Groudon pit, but they're still
Whoa.
behind. Big push!
Huge push. Satake having to run back now. Haruto in some trouble. Zealot looking for a fight, but they are behind. 1 minute left on the clock. Zugrug at half HP as we have Dignitas starting this objective. Mew is around it. Zugrug moves in. Huge Hydro Typhoon. Massive push. Haruto is down. Pavone has to run. 5 members of Dignitas are still standing, but they are behind, and here comes Overlord.
Reject is so resilient!
Oh my gosh, let's go Overlord!
Takes down the Espeon! Reject
Oh my god, they're just wiping, they just fully wiped
There's
them.
only Zulgrug, the last defender of this Groudon.
Let's
But
go.
Reject still hold the lead, and they have a clear shot at that tier.
Oh,
one
it's over,
also.
it's over, it's over.
Dignitas
They
completely
team
wiped
wiped
that
them.
fight that was heading their way. Overlord moves in. We talked about this player before.
Let's go,
For good
Overlord.
reason, the 2-time champion.
Probably
cleaning
one
up
of the
Dignitas, and it
mechanically
doesn't even
most
look like they
skilled
need the
players, I think.
Groudon. 141, 298.
Okay.
Reject with an amazing game 1.
I mean, what an amazing game from them to execute. They, like I said, resilient every step of the way, never giving in to Root Dignitas's, let's face it, dominating position around that.
Let's
I really do think that
go.
comes down to a final decision. Zugrug buys so much time and space on that Blastoise. The call is made to take the fight instead of taking that Groudon in that moment with that advantage.
I feel like they should have gone for Groudon instead, because then it forces Reject to go in and try to try to take it from them. And you basically just like pinch them since Overlord was down, but basically Reject just let Overlord respawn, like gave Overlord the amount of time to respawn. And
also say throughout most of this match, Dignitas seemed to have their number.
And
Yeah,
then
every
it
time they
was
came
over
to
when
this
he
big
came
team
back.
fight, it was just in these final moments, of course, where everything is on the line that things really went well for Reject. This right here was huge. They were looking for Overlord. They end up getting Overlord very early here in this fight. However, they couldn't capitalize on it, which is amazing plays here from Reject. Overlord was looking for it. They go down. This was the moment Dignitas needed to make something happen. And look at this, Zoinks.
This is the major moment, right? Espeon Unite move and Blastoise, and eventually Root Dignitas has to make the call to take the fight. Only a Alolan Raichu is not going to be enough firepower to rip down this Groudon, and so they Toon and Otter have to rotate into this fight. The problem is, they make it out. All they lose is this Surf Edge. Pavone splits one way, Peewee another, and they're all able
And then
to
Overlord
retake
just
this
comes
fight
in
with the
and
help of
unites
the
them.
Overlord, I mean, at
He just
the
comes in and
11th
destroys
hour,
them.
saving this game.
Unbelievable play right there. And something that will probably be talked about from Dignitas there is the fact that Blastoise
Let's go.
splits, right?
Sure.
Blastoise
Go, Overlord.
peels away, looks for
go-
the Mew.
let's go,
right? Looks
Reject.
Wii on the side of Reject. Doesn't really make a lot happen there and is not able to protect Dignitas from Overlord moving in here. Our player of the game with the play of the game, of course, it takes a village. Every single member of Reject having their moments right there. Shout out also to Pavone. Never really going down.
Oh, no.
A constant source of healing for the team. If on a razor's edge many times, and if that Pokemon gets taken down, you can't have the refights on the side of Reject, but they were not going down in most of those moments, only getting knocked out a single time. Pretty incredible here.
Yeah, so impressive. This healing supporting the entire team, and then Haruto and Satake
How much?
kind of have these
160.
abilities
Yeah, that's
making
like
a little bit of
average
that crowd
for.
control,
That's actually
right?
really
Well
good
timed
for
attacks, or even
Clefable,
that,
especially usually
powered agility
Clefable's
from
in
Satake, able to dodge out a few times and return the
like
Clefable order of a goal zone
competitive
for
usually
healing.
do
Root
like around
Dignitas
80k,
struggling to close
and it
out
hitting
some of these major
116 is
KOs, with this
probably
Espeon and Alolan Raichu.
Yeah,
the buff to some of the items.
116,000
Ay, ay, ay.
HP healed, and you can really see that
But
was a
man.
huge difference maker for the team. This is
map?
our heat map here. It's showing exactly where Overlord was most of the map. They were in
Yeah,
their
he was a
center
lot in
area,
that
so they
central-
spent some
central
time there, but
area.
yeah, all over the place. And that's what Urshifu can do. You see how much time they spent in the enemy central area.
Yeah, sometimes
I think Urshifu is one of Overlord's best mons, other than what is it?
Remember, the levels were
what
really
is
in
it
favor
called?
of Root Dignitas, at least by one, kind of across the board. It did feel like
Oh,
Reject
man.
was looking for
The
any way
bird.
to come
The
back into
Dodrio.
this series
Dodrio.
and gain some EXP. Oftentimes that can come from some central area invades, and Urshifu, one of those Pokemon that can get that done.
This is a really tough final fight for Dignitas because in multiple points they had the advantage.
Yeah.
They just couldn't seem to close it out. And one thing that was also tricky about it, they were slightly behind on the scoreboard, which was really smart from Reject. They didn't go for the bottom objective right at the end.
Nope.
They actually put some points on the board, putting them above Dignitas, meaning that Dignitas is in this really scary spot where you have
Okay, let's
to
see what
do
the bans
something
are.
here, right? You have to be the team that ends up making a play. And I think we both saw the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, a big green dragon in the middle of our screen. That is correct. We got Rayquaza. I know you were talking about this before. Talk to me about Root Dignitas and Rayquaza.
So I cannot verify this, but
Okay.
I have seen this thrown around, and you know what? When I see something on the internet, I just seem to believe it, buddy. Apparently, Root Dignitas' win rate on the Rayquaza map is almost 100%. It
wow.
might even be like 100% when
We'll
they're
round up
playing
to
Ray.
100%.
I love when we do that. It's one of my favorite things that you can possibly do. As we're taking a look at our bans here, things are looking pretty dang similar between these two squads. For Alligator
it's
still
the
getting the same
same
amount of ban
bans.
priority here. Machamp and Zugrix says, no, I'm taking the blast.
They probably don't
want
wanna give Reject Serena because of.
It was phenomenal. One of the best pieces of that composition.
They don't want to
when
go
we were
them like
watching it
full,
happen. I do love
full
that we're seeing an identical draft because it does mean that
like
every
shield
stat
build,
on our screen
just
is
like Gladius
100%
Koopa.
so far, which I do find quite
Which is like a
Every
crazy
single one of
thing.
the bans is a run back as well as our picks across the board. Otter will return to the Espeon, picked a little bit higher in priority this time around though.
And now we're seeing another couple of picks here for Reject. They might be switching it up, though. Are they going to take away a pick from the side of Dignitas? We'll see. They loved that Surfetched. Game number 1. We have Snorlax being hovered here. So far, we have the exact same composition, which honestly, I don't think is unfair. Both teams
It's a
did
very
great.
close game. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Finally, we have a bit of a swap. The Quavel we will not see into game number 2. Instead, a Garchomp will be available. Kind of back to Zealot's roots a little bit. One of their Pokemon that they
They're
made
just
a name
running
for
it
themselves
back
at in
just with
competition. Final
Garchomp
cover for
instead.
Toon is
Oh,
really
and
interesting,
Snorlax.
And we're gonna lock in a
Oh, are we getting a
Snorlax.
Are we gonna get a damage lax?
Excuse me?
Let's go.
So,
Am I echoing?
I'm not exactly sure what we're looking at here.
Okay, great.
I love the
I'm
Metagross pick. This is
definitely
very
echoing.
exciting.
Uh-huh.
If Toon is on, this Snorlax playing, okay, he's moving over to Blastoise. I was gonna say this does make sense. We've seen Blastoise play in
Yeah.
this position, but I was thinking,
Okay.
man, if they're going
Oh my gosh.
with everything on
No,
the
I
line,
didn't fix it.
flail lax
Whatever.
right now from Toon, I'm here for it. But wow, that is wild. The healing on the side of Reject, really incredible here. We have a single curse item from Dignitas, but it's a great one on Otter. I mean, if they can hit a big time, Psyshock into a side beam, chain all of that, give them all some of that, curse debuff, that could be big. Reject here, I mean, I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good into this double defender, but we're gonna have to see. Dignitas obviously has cooked up something.
It is a bit of a dip in damage, though, right?
Huge.
Like, I mean, you're losing the Alolan Raichu and picking up the Blastoise. I think damage numbers-wise, Garchomp and Quavel, we're just going to kind of call it a wash. But still, that is a big change-up for Root Dignitas. Instead of playing for
They're
some
just
big
full
bursts
running it.
of damage or
Reject's
even
like full running
ongoing,
back.
they're going to play that crowd control contest up against Reject, adding Blastoise into the mix. We are going to be getting into game number 2. One of the most important matches of any World Championships we have ever had to start the day off here in San Francisco. And already it has started electric. Let's get into game number 2.
Let's go.
All right, Root Dignitas. you're
Where
going
are
to
they?
Reject,
Why don't
you're
we
going
get this
to
camera
Reject
angle?
up one game right
Why-
here, and even if Reject
why are we not
wins
getting this
series,
angle?
Dignitas desperately would like to
When are we
win
gonna get a
game
first-person
right here, right? It
Pokemon
matters
Unite
so
game?
much in a group of three.
Like,
Yeah,
like
at Group Stage, you cannot sleep in a single moment of this one. I recommend you don't sleep this entire tournament. It's going to be exciting all the way.
it's really hard when you have
Zogrug
Mew
pushing
on the
forward
field. Mew's like
against
really
Pee-wee
good.
right now, and we're actually going to get a chance to get a few stacks in. As this Snorlax, we're talking about iconic players and Pokemon combos. I feel like Zogrug and the Pool Party Snorlax, that's a classic.
It is a big one, without question. Otter right now looking still for their level 4, seeing if they can secure that right here, and they do. Nice big secure. Dignitas playing so well early. Overlord right now, though, looking for a huge play, and Otter doesn't know it's coming.
All right, that early tackle in from Overlord, but they take about half of their HP down. That Electro Ball from Pee-wee does target the right character as Otter takes a burst of damage, but everyone will make it back safely. Interesting to note, first rotation through the central area was taken by Zealot on that Gibble. They've evolved into Gabite. They're fighting over there on the top side. Overlord pushes in, and they get a big pull.
And here we go. Pavoni in a lot of trouble right now. Just
Oh.
heading down here as we see Toon moving forward towards the Farfetch. In the bottom path, we have Satake pushing towards the other side. Overlord was able to score. Satake now peeling back. Secures go over to the side of Reject, and more stacks for the Metagross.
Man, look at how well the top side has been going as well for Root Dignitas. Toon out-leveling the Surfetch, who's still yet to evolve by quite a big margin. Again, though, Reject back to their old ways. Satake invading into the enemy central area. Pavone for the bailout, but not in time.
Oh.
Zealot gonna take down
That's
that
unfortunate.
KO.
Yeah, Zealot picks up the KO there. They use the resource of their eject button, but it's a pretty big KO. I think you absolutely want to take it. Pavone right now deciding to stack, recognizing that it might mean that they go down here. We're going to see if Toon can actually stop them, and no, it doesn't look like it.
Cliffhanger was healing.
KO
Once
by
they get
1,000
stacked
crowns when it
in,
comes to war
it's
for early
over.
stage of the game. Overlord fighting
It's over.
almost 4 players from Root Dignitas. Pee-wee there for the backup. And that has been an interesting duo to watch so far for Reject as they've played through this game number 1 and the early parts of game number 2 is the Overlord and Pee-wee combo. That Mew coaching, it seems like it's always there to back up one of their carries.
Overlord right now kind of loves this fight. I know they're getting pushed around here by Dignitas, but look at that massive gyro ball. Here comes the Garchomp, though, with the Dragon combo. Is this going to push Reject back?
Overlord with a big KO and all those shields being gained by the Gyro Ball. Another big pull by the Gabite, but they will eventually fall. Haruto chasing down into the enemy Flux Zone with the help of an eject button. And that goal zone is not going to be standing for very long, or at least extremely low, as so many stacks end up going in Reject's favor.
Really amazing here for Reject. Reject, we're at 7 minutes. That's a level 9 Metagross. They are evolved. They have their Unite move. They're way ahead of Dignitas. Strangely enough, highest level on the board for Dignitas, the Snorlax.
Okay, well, not the central area.
They've just been letting the Snorlax farm bot lane. Oh, they did break top.
Ready to go. A bit of offense and never
They're breaking with 30, so it's like
certainly a bad opinion so far.
a 19-point overcap bot.
The lower its HP gets,
I think there was a about the same overcap
really well
top.
with a very scrappy team. You know, Surfetch, Metagross. Those Pokemon want to fight. Well, so does Flaillox.
And I know this is not irrelevant in terms of numbers, but the sound it makes when you get hit by a flail is intimidating enough for me to want to recall the base. So.
Without question, it's a great sound. It's intense. It shakes the screen. The big punches in bunches from Zugrug. Overlord now, though, still the biggest thing going. Level 10.5. And that Metagross loves to fight multiple members of the enemy team. That Gyro Ball, when it hits people, it gets a huge shield. The more enemy players it hits, the bigger that shield becomes. Makes it really hard to shut this Pokemon down.
We are still going to be focusing with that Magnet Rise on the tenacity here. Hartoken, he tried to push in with that detect. Zugrug going to push him up against the wall, and these little engagements fighting over experience are going to be so important, especially for Root Dig. It's a nice little pull back by Toon, and then Surfing Overlord trying to get them in range of their Garchomp.
Garchomp moving in with the Unite move here. We have the Mew coming to help. Blastoise goes down. Big time unit from the Garchomp. They are all stuck in the sand tomb that was created by Overlord. He actually created a perfect arena for Garchomp to slash back and forth and rip through Reject.
We have multiple pool party hollowware on the side of Root Dignitas. I did not think that Reject was going to be the one hosting that event. That is a tough look, and
Root it looked like
happy,
Reject was going to win that, and
they
then
got the feed up to Garchomp.
They just didn't.
Huge stuff there. 117, 141 right now. Reject's still ahead, and we saw how important that was near the end of the game last game, right? It meant Dignitas was the team that had to make a play. They're still in that position right now, but we're only halfway through this match here. An incredibly important game for these two teams. Two of the best in the world. You want to win these series, and Reject's already up. Easy, secure here for Dignitas. Easy, secure for Reject. The objectives go back and forth.
All right, so Regieleki is going to be walking towards that tier 2. We're at that 4.5-minute mark. Often teams will kind of play it a little bit safer and get some EXP, but however, Reject, not one of those teams. Instead, pushing
Reject doesn't play
area,
stuff safe.
allowing that vision that Regieleki is providing to know that at the very least, Blastoise will not be there.
Garchomp is under-leveled for this.
They could decide to head towards this goal.
he's actually a little under-leveled.
Dignitas, trying to keep this level lead that they
All
have.
things considered.
And with them in the central area and no good vision for Dig,
never mind.
someone wanders in here and they are going to regret it, as we now have Reject deciding how long they want to stay here.
Yeah, we have the Flaillox and the Espeon down on that bottom tier 1 hovering. I don't know if they have vision of the Surfetched either, who is roamed out over there. Zugrug is checking pieces of the tall grass, but that Surfetch has now recalled. Yeah, currently, Dignitas are just throwing moves into tall grass, searching anywhere they can. They're going to find the Metagross first.
Yeah, Metagross is found. They're actually going to have to peel back here. Only 2 members of Reject. They might look for a score in the bottom half. Somehow, Pavone with the follow me, of course, makes it out again. And now they're heading towards the bottom goal zone, but Zugrug is there to push them back.
Yeah, a great stop with this Snorlax jumping right into the frame. Bart's in a dangerous spot now, but they will just strafe away from that Garchomp.
Mew's down.
But it's actually Pee-wee's Mew the first to fall. We're at the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, Satake in some trouble right now, having to peel back as Root Dignitas is looking towards the central area. They're just happy to take that fight, though, and all of this experience right there. Huge pick. Great stuff from Dignitas.
Dignitas is like overall really good.
Just recognize they can get away with anything right now.
Reject is filled with carry.
Seemingly immortal on the map, and yeah, these levels are starting to get out of hand, Spraggles. We got a 13.
I think Overlord's was probably
level 11
either
the board, finally
was probably upset with
Here we go. Second same as the first. We have the bottom objective here.
The Clefable needs to be on Overlord.
Top objective, the Regieleki heading over to
but he's choosing to be on the Surfetched, I think. Or he's kind of floating. He's not really like on a specific person. And I think
that would be so preferential to going 0-2 in this group stage.
Yeah,
Overlord has some good poke.
in terms of hitting the goal zone. Overlord taking a lot of early poke damage. damage, but that's what the Clefable's for, backing them up immediately.
Here we go, just a few seconds until Rayquaza.
Oh.
It looks like Dignitas is ready for it,
What?
pushing members of Reject out of the pit.
There's
Full
no way
HP as
Clefable
they're
has a
moving
full
forward for
heal,
fight.
right?
Pavoni in some trouble in the top path, but no, peeling back. Otter getting caught.
That's a huge KO. That's
Oh,
so
they
good.
split up, they split up, they
Out.
split up.
And we have a push by the Snorlax.
It's not good.
That power nap knocking out multiple targets, and now Ender joins the fray, taking down their opposing support player as the Clefable's down for 10 seconds.
And here we go, Haruto looking for the Garchomp right here. They could definitely win this brawl, but the Pollen Puff keeps them alive. Big time Dragon Claw combo, and now everyone is going to peel back. Overlord looking for a fight with 4 members of Dignitas. We have the Espeon coming back right now. We have
my
the
gosh.
Clefable coming back, and it looks
They're
like
all
we're heading
coming
back
back.
in for
Everyone's
another
coming
scrap.
back.
Overlord's gonna be that main
Overlord's a
target.
little low. Overlord's low. Overlord's low.
Take that 0, as Espeon will take that last hit.
Oh,
We do
that's
have
not
to
good.
live it out right
That's
for the
not
Garchomp.
good.
It's gonna be cleaning up on the damage front. Rayquaza brought down to about half HP. We have the Zacian hanging out above the pit on the top side. Satake knocks airborne, and the Blastoise pushes him even farther.
Nah, it's
Otter
over.
And two.
Your Dignitas
A
wins
perfect
that
combo,
game.
and that's
GG's.
Ray down.
Let's go, Dignitas, evening this thing up here. The score's going in 217, 317, looking for another hundo burger as the Unite Mics have coined it. 417 to 149. We have got a game on our hands, Zoinks.
Rude Dignitas cleaning up in a major way. A lot of those mistakes from game number 1, you're not seeing them going into
I
game
feel like you
number
shouldn't
2.
be
Great
giving them
stuns
like
across
I
the
think
board.
Espeon was a
Having
heavy hitter
Blastoise
in this
and
one.
Snorlax
I
on
guess
their
there are
team
better
is
bands,
so
but
formidable in that final
I don't
fight,
know.
and Reject could just not find a way to move safely around the middle of that
Reject's
Rayquaza
got to
pit.
do
Now
something.
the question is here,
I feel like they might need to change some
will
stuff.
Reject select them out? Knowing that
The
Dignitas
Clefable's
loved
fine,
Ray
it
and
just
won
needs to
with
do
it.
something.
Another beautiful fight from them. The only difference I feel like here from game 1 to game 2 is Dignitas did recognize this time when they had their advantage, it's go time.
Yeah.
We have to finish right now. We are not putting ourselves in this position once more to actually let the match slip through our fingers. You couldn't ask for a better way to start our day. All tied up in this best of 3. And as I mentioned earlier, can't stress enough how important it is that this is going to a game 3. That puts so much pressure on the 3rd team out of this group.
And there's definitely calling the shots.
In
in
a
this.
dangerous spot. Both these teams gonna essentially have a point if we want
Overlord's probably gonna say something like, you need to be on me or something, because back when he was with like Luminosity and Blackhand, it was a lot of he had a supporter on him 24/7, and that helped him make some crazy plays.
Garchomp was big. It took a little while for the Blastoise to get online, but here was that huge moment.
Because like
The,
this
you know,
Clefable being
mausoleum
up
set
here
by
and not being
for the side of
on
Reject, and with
Overlord
all of the crowd
was an issue
control
for
that was
Overlord and
hitting
kind of screwed
the
over their team.
Metagross, he couldn't bring the walls down for that
Um,
moment, so they
like the
all were stuck
Clefable-
there. And then here is our fight, huge Dragon Claw combo.
Yeah,
catch here.
like they need to
Pavoni just
like
never seems to go
in
down.
this
There
kind
was
of thing,
Otter, kind of
they
in
need to
no
be
man's
on
land, getting caught
someone.
by Reject, but one goes
This is
back
like
to
an
the other
issue
side,
that
and
I
all just
have
kinda have to take a
sometimes,
breath.
where I'm not on like a carry mon like Zacian or Metagross, and actually Zacian probably isn't a great carry mon. I think they're more of a Pokemon that does a lot of damage. I would be on the I would be on the Surfetched or the Metagross if I was Clefable for as much time as possible, because the Mew can be on one of the other ones, giving shield and stunning the other team.
This is the Eos Cookie, the Rocky Helmet. They want to be in your face the entire time throwing those punches, but also the ability to throw up that wall, give themselves so much time in a fight, reposition their opponents. Such an incredible game number 2 here. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better start to our day. This is electric.
I am loving this so far. I mean, very similar drafts in game number 2 that we saw into game number 1. I'm extremely curious where we go into game number 3, but I do think our biggest question mark is where are we going to be playing in game number 3? What map are we going to? Because Rude Dignitas clearly love this Ray.
Yeah, I mean, I got to agree. If I'm Reject, I think I'm taking away map.
Oh, I'm picking Groudon
I think I'm
immediately.
either Groudon or Kyogre, whichever one we like best, right? With how, kind of healing focus they've been,
Maybe
they might love to
Groudon, because they want the
Play
attack buff.
Kyogre, yeah.
Kyogre would
That
give a,
being
a
said,
shield and healing
either
buff.
way, I could see them not wanting Ray again. However, that gives Dignitas the advantage of that first pick again, which they've
Right.
used to take Blastoise both of our games. Clearly, a
Blastoise
standout
is a
Pokemon in
crazy
tournament, so
like
Would you
defender.
consider swapping out one of your bands if your reject?
But
took the
Reject
Blastoise
has
away for game
very heavy on
well,
carry
it's hard,
mons.
because look
So
at what
that's
they're
why they
on.
have basically two
Yeah.
supporters. They're playing
They've
support
gotta get
Mew
that
basically.
Feraligatr out of there.
And
I
they're
do think
playing
Feraligatr is
Clefable.
probably the best thing going on Eos
Mhm.
Island right now. There are a few Pokemon in that position. You know, one that has been completely absent that I know we've all been thinking about is Yveltal.
Yeah.
Not a ban, not a pick. Feraligatr, however, I'm not shocked. This might stay the top ban throughout the tournament.
Okay, yeah, I think it's a very, very good chance. Dignitas feels like a little, I want to almost call them character bands, but focus bands that we are seeing on their side of
Focus
things.
band.
Focus bands, just multiple. This time it's plural. But the Clefable Serena, I could see that in multiple matches as we go forward in our tournament. Maybe the Serena is a specific reject choice. Sasaka is so good on that Pokemon.
Comfey is also a particular kind of broken. It is the only
Right.
supporter that can really track with any, you know, character you put it on,
Mhm.
opening up opportunities for things like Zoroark combos to make it out there. Pokemon that just love to go extremely deep onto the enemy side of the map, dive into their backline.
The heat
Nothing
maps are
can
kinda
protect
cool.
you like Comfey can.
Right.
So by banning Comfey, you shut down an entire strategy. Zoroark is powerful. Zoroark Comfey is overpowered.
They just
And
don't
get
wanna
rid of that
give
entire play.
they
Yeah,
just don't want to
that's
give
a nasty look. I don't think
Zoroark
Rizig
to
Trust is looking to play into, or at least
Overlord.
as often as they can help it. They're going to be putting that combination to the other side. And Reject, on the other hand, we've seen some interesting stuff from them in the past as well. I know Overlord loves that Delmise. I think that would be an interesting pick to pick up. However, they have been playing more of a damage-focused role with the Urshifu and the Metagross now in these last two games.
There are a few Pokemon I would love to see from Overlord here. My number one has got to be Dodrio. I don't know that it will play particularly well into what Dignitas is throwing at it, unfortunately.
Snorlax Blastoise, that's a
Exactly.
tough look.
It's not what I want to see when I pick the three-headed
Right.
bird, right?
Yeah.
But I recognize how unbelievably good Overlord is on
Uh-huh.
this Pokemon, and with how Reject plays, you'll notice the pressure from Reject. If you were to split the map right down the middle, some teams play just like that. This
Yeah.
is my side, this is your side, we're gonna take the objective fights. I'm gonna, like, basically near the center, I'm gonna try to secure every single thing I can. Reject, I think they have a more holistic approach.
They blur
to
those
this.
lines,
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
all the way onto the other side. That's ours too. They take everything they can, and Dodrio is one of the best Pokemon to do this.
Yeah.
I know Overlord has been running it. The only question is it going to work into a composition like this? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a really tricky spot. And Game 3, how we're forcing these teams to make difficult decisions in a very important stage of the tournament. These three-team groups, they can be nasty, and especially when we have this level of teams making up this group. I can't wait. I can't wait to see some of these other matches as well throughout the day, especially check out some of our feature stage matches. I mean, we have so much exciting tournament in front of us. This is the best World Championships we ever had.
It is without question the best World Championships. It is without question the last World Championships. And it is without question the best way to start in the craziest group we have ever had here. Zoinks, Dignitas, Reject, and I really do think, of course you want this match. More than anything, you want to go ahead and win this thing. No question about it. Both of these teams having a game, though, it could be, if things don't go well here, it could be that life preserver. It could be that thing you grab onto that moves you into day two.
We've seen pop-ups on stage. I don't know if we've ever seen pop-ups of relief from both teams so far this early in the tournament, and I do think they are both feeling that way. But you're right. There's so much on the line. There's so much storied history between these teams. They want this win right now if they can help it. And I mean, they have had two chances to take a look at how the opposition is playing, where they rotate, how they move. That tall grass that Overlord was hanging out in multiple games now on the enemy side, but for an ambush, that might not work as well going into game number 3.
We are headed to Kyogre, so getting the big 3 throughout our best of 3 so far.
Yeah, Kyogre, they do not want to see Rayquaza again as we're taking a look at our bands, looking very similar to our other games here. We've got the Comfey, we've got the Blissey, see. It looks like Serena is going to be that final ban here for Root Dignitas. And now Reject, the question is, are they going to keep up with the Machamp ban? They were on blast list for a moment here.
Wow, Snorlax would be really interesting.
They banned
You
Snorlax.
are anticipating
Interesting.
a first pick Blastoise, right? Like you just have to.
That's
But
interesting.
On the other side, so Reject has to have a game plan to stop.
I was not
Pokemon
expecting
because Zugrak
them
and,
to ban
Toonslip in the
Snorlax.
last game have looked phenomenal on this water type Pokemon.
Wow.
Oh,
look, they're
and
taking
they
away
took
all
away
rules here.
the
Immediately
Espeon.
grabbing the Machamp, they take away
And
the
there's going
Espeon
on,
from Dignitas. Now, of course, Otter
Yeah,
has
that
a
makes
lot
sense.
from
You know,
Pokemon
that actually
Otter's
makes
gonna
sense.
be playing here right now.
He's gonna
So
he
I'm not
loves
sure
Psyduck
exactly
more
what
than
is
anything.
going to happen. Otter on Espeon has looked phenomenal, but Otter looks phenomenal on Mew. Otter looks phenomenal on Alolan Raichu. Otter looks phenomenal on a ton of Pokemon, and of course, we settle into the Mew, Ender on the Duck.
Interesting. Okay, a Pokemon that I expected to have even higher of an encounter rate so far, but absent in games 1 and 2 from ban or pick. But now Ender gonna be adding that one to the repertoire. This makes sense. The Machamp, Espeon, they loved that trio of Psyduck at the Asia Champions League, so it makes sense. Ender wants to take that option away.
And now they are taking the Eldegoss for themselves.
Standard
a Pokemon
Lucario?
that's getting standard Lucario. That is what we were seeing. Base model Lucario, which could be extreme speed. Oftentimes, if you're playing this Lucario and not going
They took
Mega,
they
is
took
because you are
Mew.
not playing
They went
Power Up
Eldegoss.
If they play Power Up Punch, we have questions.
What are
for
we
you.
doing? Talonflame.
We have questions lined up.
Oh my gosh, a
I love
Talonflame
this
pick.
word comp,
That's
baby.
crazy.
Got the Talonflame Zealot back on the Quaquaval looking to fight Overlord now with our final pick. We're gonna see how
Are we gonna see a Dodrio?
on this Dodrio.
Oh my gosh,
That'd be
let
so
please
good.
say we're doing Dodrio.
Let's see what he wants to lock in here.
Boo!
Gross.
I wanna
love
see a
this choice
Dodrio.
for- once again, I thought it looked great in that last game. And if anyone on the side of Dignitas wants to get close to this thing, all of a sudden it's just this unbelievable tanky wall.
A Pokemon, it's so difficult to deal with. I do think its Blastoise matchup is pretty solid as well. It's not going to be getting that KO on the other side, but that natural tenacity that Metagross can kind of play with will help it in some of these engagements against that Blastoise.
I want to ask you, Psyduck, unbelievable, right? Of course. How do you like it into this comp from Reject? I don't know that I see as the big moments as much.
Yeah, to me, it looks like more of a counter pick. We don't want Reject to have that Pokemon. That again, that Espeon Machamp Psyduck combination is so terrifying in some of those combo looks. You are taking that away, but I do think early game having that Psyduck to apply a little bit of extra pressure could be a major point for them to work with.
Yeah, it absolutely could as our teams are getting ready here for game number 3. Such an important one. Our battleground. Hey, we got the hat trick. We did them all here. Groudon, then Rayquaza.
I like these shots. This is what playoffs started doing, like replay shots.
This match is so important.
This is so funny
One
to
of
see
these
this.
teams might not be making it through groups.
The
That
production
will change the
value
entire
for
texture
Pokemon
of
Unite
our
was they're like,
tournament.
this is the last
Side
one.
up,
We'll just
Root
give
Dignitas, your
everyone.
purple team Reject,
They're
your
basically
orange
just giving
team
everyone.
Game 3.
Well, we've
Like-
seen some flexes in the draft so far, Spreckles, and now we have ended
They're
up
like, I will
with
give them
Otter
a
on
ton
their
of budget.
Mew and Zugrug on this Blastoise that crushed it in game number 1. That is what I call a formidable bottom path, and Overlord already getting pushed around.
Yeah, Overlord getting pushed around right there, but they did get the secure. Zugrug moving forward right here. Haruto in the top path, seeing if they could steal something away from Root Dig, but so far things are going great for Root Dignitas. That is going to go over to the side of Reject.
All right, Ender on this Psyduck. They're going with no traditional healing for this composition. Instead, going to rely on shields and damage reduction for the help of the Psyduck Unite move, as there are major influences in the final team fight. However, on the opposite side, Reject have swapped into the Eldegoss, who can put out a ton of healing, but it's going to be more focused on the Unite move for those big impact support moments.
Teams mobilizing towards the center of the map. Satake right here looking for their possible play. They move in. Huge catch right
There
there.
it is.
Otter in trouble, and there they go down. That is the delete button from Reject. Grab with the submission Machamp, and then Fui finishes them off. Another one.
Yeah, there's Zugrug taking so much damage that Palm Puff will explode, but not in time to get the KO. Reject with a big knockout and a ton of damage to follow up in this bottom path already. These teams are fighting early.
Satake coming in once again. Otter having to eject out. This combination from Reject is so oppressive, and look at what it's done to Root Dignitas. They just have to get away from this. They can't fight.
Yeah, there is a reason we have talked about Espeon as the best in-class attacker, and you've got to witness it multiple times in this Game 3 already.
I'm surprised
that combo, that burst
they
damage
let it
is kind
be
of
taken
unseconded across the
by
entire roster.
Dig
Now the question is,
for
what
so
is
long.
Reject going to do here? Because it really does feel like it is their decision to make as we have the Machoke moving towards the top path. Regidrago hits the map.
All right, we do have the bird combo, the duo of Talonflame and Psyduck rotating to contest around this objective, but so far neither of these teams want to push aggressively without vision of the other. We do Satake on the Machoke doing another clear of the central area, but Regidrago's already down to half, even lower.
Here we go, big time secure. Espeon once again, the fly from Talon late there.
Yeah, tough timing. Dignitas not able to combo correctly. Satake with that unstoppable. Pushing it, they're going to pull a couple as Inder takes a ton of damage. So does Toon, and they land onto multiple targets. Great body block by Sugrug, making sure that Espeon cannot get that KO.
It's an extremely scary play from Toon right there, but they are able to make it out. A lot of this experience heading over to the side of Reject, some of it being secured by Dignitas. 0 to 4 right now. The top path, we have our two all-rounders brawling, and it looks like it's going to be the Duck going down. Lucario winning that, and that's going to be massive for Reject. They're going to get a huge level lead now.
I think with how much they pull back from...
choices have been made. Registeel is going to be the center of attention, though. Satake body blocking that Electro Ball. They are going to pull that view in the top.
Oh, that was a huge combo.
Yeah, Reject now moving forward.
That was beautiful.
Talonflame comes in with a Unite move. They're looking for the KO on the Espeon. The objective over to Reject. Machamp with the Unite.
That was beautiful.
They actually peel back. Now they can move in with a submission.
Machamp combos are
For a
amazing.
huge play. Grabbing the Psyduck. Here comes Machamp. No need to unite just yet. They're lining it up and they're looking for it. They grab two and one goes down.
Yeah, big UC diamond from Overlord after they've already landed, and now that extreme speed Lucario's joining the battle. That Bone Rush good for a KO streak of 2 as Lucario getting this done in the classic fashion.
This
He's
really
gonna be
tough
fully
for
staffed.
Dignitas. I think they would have expected this Machamp possibly to be banned out. Then they first picked Blastoise. Now all of a sudden they've given up this insanely powerful combination to Reject.
They
Doesn't
let
look like they have an
Blastoise
answer for it. We have
stay
Lucario on
top
the top
and
path, outplaying
farm
the
for...
Quaquaval, almost 3 levels up. This is absolute domination for Reject out of Japan.
Yeah, so far exactly according to plan for them. It's another big pull, and of course the combo's there to follow.
That's the huge pick by
with this Talonflame, they do get a ton of burst, but no
by the
KOs
Machamp.
to follow. They got to retreat back to that goal zone. Pee-wee and Haruto are going to be the front line between this Lucario and Espeon in this next team fight, but the objective is going to be a second thought as they're actually pushing towards this tier 1.
I honestly thought it was going to be extreme speed, but no, it is power-up punch, Bone Rush Lucario. An absolute blast from the past. Something you never see. Some really awkward math there from Reject. I'm not sure why they were so stressed, but I guess they wanted to stop Toon, possibly?
Yeah, it could be. Well, they are going to be focusing on that fight. Sayaya is going to reduce a little bit of that damage, but Talonflame has to think twice. Taking that fight on the goal zone will be a tough one. It's going to be a flame sweep, mostly just to get out of danger. As Satake and Overlord were waiting in the wings, lurking.
Ender now goes down, but you definitely trade.
This is
right?
like a
Using your
Reject.
Psyduck over losing your Talonflame. Hits the right
I don't know
word,
why
for sure, as we have a score here from
Dignitas
Zugrat.
decided to
82,
go with
152.
Talonflame.
Reject still in command of this match. Another catch right here. The
Like,
Espeon
it could
combo,
be
and I'm
good,
sorry, Dignitas.
but I don't
This
think
is
it's
looking
that
bleak,
good
buddy.
in
You
this
need an
kind of
answer.
situation.
Yeah, Root Dig not able to deal with this combo that has been a staple of the metagame for quite some time. These are meta threats, and they are proving why every single time. Talonflame, another big back half though. They're climbing in that score. Oh, they actually see the Espeon as that low HP, but trading their KO there, not going to be an option.
Here we go. Toon actually once again making it out thanks to Ender with a massive block. Here comes the Machamp, though. There really is nothing Dignitas can do here. Toon trying to slow them down. Up in the top path, we have a bit of a KO. Some whiplash as we take a look at what is happening up there. The Lucario's fighting 4 members of Reject onto the goal zone, and wow.
Oh, they're just dumping all their points. It's over.
Yeah,
Oh, they broke.
on a massive overtime.
Oh,
Doesn't matter when you're sitting
300 to
397
97?
points. Dignitas yet
Oh,
to
gosh.
get in the triple
It might be
digits
over,
as Reject
guys.
have defended both
No,
of
no,
their
no, it's
tier
never
ones
over
in the
until it's
bottom
over.
And the top side of the map.
Kyogre.
Here is the next major one that will be a Talonflame secure in the face of Satake's Machamp, but they're still here for the fight.
Yeah, and here we go. Look at Reject. Just absolutely dominating this, holding all the moves. Beautiful Psyshock takes it down. Regieleki walks for only a 4-point overcap. The levels on the side of Dignitas.
Overlord
abysmal
United.
At this point in the match. Reject in total control.
Yeah, and a Pokemon like Metagross just becomes unbelievable. The massive level lead, but Quabba able to get that KO. That's a lot.
Their
of combat
supporter just didn't go
experience
in,
for
didn't
this all-arounder,
stay with
as
them.
well as chasing
This is
down
the issue.
Ferronia.
When your supporters
Here we
don't
go.
stay with you.
Zealot coming
Okay.
online here. Maybe saving
And
the
that
match
just
for
led to,
Dignitas.
like,
12 on
the...
Talonflame. Gonna be 13
It just let it go
on
back the
Quabba.
other way.
Regidrago being
Oh my
worked on.
gosh.
Signs of life here from Root Day.
Yeah, great punish. I mean, Reject break 1, tier 2. They try to
Overlord
challenge
seems a lot
third,
calmer
Dignitas
than he
able to
used
defend
to.
at least one of those. So good rotation. They're able to kind of keep pace with Reject
Luminosity
so
was
far. And,
was
I mean, you're gonna need
such
to do
a...
a lot more than that if you want to claw your way back
They
to
were
a
so
victory
upset at
position
each
with
other
this
all the
final
time.
stretch on the horizon. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left before Kyogre spawns, and we really come alive in this one.
Beautiful unstoppable surf there from Zugra. Could have been caught, but does not end up going down. 15 seconds now until Kyogre hits our map. This fight is huge. If Reject can get a catch, as they have multiple times throughout this game, I think they can sew this thing up. Dignitas not in a great position right here, and Reject getting a ton of information. The question is, who is going to move in first? Who is going to start this fight? Overlord, and here we go, it's the Quabble!
That's so much damage already. Overlord gets a little bit of the shielding, has to Unite move. They're forced to, but Zilla is not afraid of that 1v1, and that is going to be the first KO for Root Dignitas.
Root Dignitas moving in. Talonflame with a big time Unite move, doesn't hit the wall, but it's picked up by the Machamp. Talon now has to peel back. The Hydro Typhoon catches 3 from Reject, pushing him around. Kyogre solo, and it's Talon! Tune with the secure. The fly lands perfectly.
Oh my
Queen
gosh.
goes down. Satake has to
W
run,
root.
and now we're looking to score. But Lucario picked up a buff on the other side. Dignitas still behind.
Oh my goodness, this is so close. That Kyogre debuff on the goal zone might make this impossible for Reject, though. They are defending against 3 players right now as Talonflame is scoring 40 points in that home goal zone, but the Lucario is matching pace. 54 from Haruto as Japan Team Reject is still holding on to this lead.
Right now, Dignitas is making a massive call. They are saying we have to take Lucario. They're looking for it. The Unstoppable trying to get out of a bad situation. 55 seconds left. Haruto using Power Punch once again.
There's so much.
Missing with the Unite move. Haruto in trouble. Huge fly, but is able to dodge. 45
Oh my god!
The ball
He's just running away!
their ankles. Reject is running towards their goal zone. Dig the other way.
All right, it is now just a race to score. Let's see how many points in pocket both these teams can deposit. The only defender for Team Reject will be the Eldegoss. Root Dignitas have left it all up for the offense. Lucario joins out of the battle in the goal zone, but Root Dignitas is able to deposit everything with the Hundo Burger from Zugra, and there it goes. 100 points, 635 to 657.
Oh my gosh, it's so close.
Be closer, but the Machamp is still scoring.
The Chief is still scoring.
635. Dignitas needs something. 7 more points. Talonflame scores again. Machamp looking for another point. They go down. Machamp scores again.
Oh my gosh.
I think they have it.
This is a full
Believe it.
scoring
The
game.
most important match of
This
the
is
day. Starts
insane.
the photo finish.
Who won? I think Reject won. Yes, let's go.
Wow. Reject.
Crazy first game.
Root Dignitas.
Oh, no, that's unfortunate for Dig.
The Lucario making their way around
That
the
was
map. The
crazy.
Kyogre buff giving them just a little more HP. Just a little more HP.
They just
The
kept
Power,
scoring.
The unstoppable power of punches to avoid all of the crowd control. And then Reject scrambles to score in the home goal.
They just-
zone. Dig. I know
They were just
have
letting
questions
the
about punch bone rush
Lucario
I
score
believe
points.
that question was already posed to
And
the
then
players
when
on
they
stage,
decided to
but
back
after
to
this,
stop
I
him.
bet I will give you the entire instructional, unreal finish to our best of 3 sets.
Oh, that was
This is
insane.
One of the best matches I've got to cast in the Unite Championship Series. What a brawl between
That was
these
a
two squads.
crazy
Not
first
over
game,
for
by the
either
way.
of them. You know,
Oh,
looking
what a
forward to
great
Now that
what a
Reject's
great round
won
to
this,
do.
they feel pretty comfortable.
Is there a B stage?
Overlord going down early in this fight. It gets
There's
so
probably a
scary.
BC stage, right?
Vegetatos really making sure they get the best of this moment.
Pokemon
You get the power-up punch, Lucario getting
Unite.
right into the fray, and the Unite move at the end, taking down Mew.
Is there a
Stealing
BC
that
stream?
buff. I mean, how important is this Lucario?
I don't think
This
there
is
is.
the moment of the game right here. Haruto.
I think everything's gonna be happening on the main stage, or it's not gonna be happening at all. It's not gonna be shown at all on
the power-up punch pushing them away. See you guys later. Another unstoppable.
Oh,
Crazy
man, I almost
match.
thought it was in that other patch of tall grass, the bone. You saw all three converge there, but able to dodge
Mew wasn't
some
able
of
to
the
score.
way. And Ruthidos able to get
There.
multiple hundo burgers.
Blastoise
This
was able to
situation,
score,
even with
but Mew wasn't able to
Reject
get their
defending that
36
gold
in.
zone. The Quavel and the Blastoise both able to get major points in the game. Ruthidos may have lost that one, but they were never out of that fight.
Oh, that was
Reject
crazy.
just a step
That was a
ahead.
great
I mean,
first
this
round.
This is the absolute highest level gameplay that you are going to see.
Yeah.
The player of the game. Power up punch.
Let's
Rush
go.
Lucario from Haruto.
W
That was
Lucario.
a thing of beauty. You'll notice didn't go down a single time.
Zero
Feints right there. And even in the last moment with every member of Dig looking for the KO, they just could not seem to stop Haruto. Unbelievable start to our day.
No more questions about Power Up Punch Bone Rush. I have been proven that is the moveset. Loving what we are seeing out of Team Reject from Japan. A team that has had such an interesting story all season long. Silver medals are their rivals of Fennel for the entirety of the season. This could be the chance to finally bring home a gold. Taking a look at some of these stats, though, I mean, yeah, that 53,000 looking impressive. Overlord with 9 KOs in this game and almost 70,000 damage on the Metagross, a Pokemon that you knew was going to be phenomenal this weekend.
Yeah, I felt like Metagross was going to have a pretty solid weekend here. Seeing Overlord on it, it looked really incredible. Obviously, Lucario with multiple hero plays throughout this match. I really have to hand it to Dig with how they came back from the absolute brink and actually put themselves
They
in a position
did.
to win
They were
this
so
thing.
far
But
behind.
this just goes to
They
show,
brought it back,
first off,
and
how
then
important that early score lead
I
was
think the
for Reject.
decision making
The
on
objective to still have a
Reject
match
was a
in front
little
of you.
bit better.
It also just goes to show the level at which these teams are playing. In a
Which is
solo queue
crazy.
game, everyone's sitting in base after a moment like that. Reject makes the miss secure into a win. Well, we've got an interview up on the big stage, so why don't we send it that way right now? Take it away.
Holy smokes, that is a heck of a way to start the 2026 World Championships here, the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. I, of course, am Dupesnax, and the man that requires no introduction, Overlord from Reject right here.
W Overlord.
Already the fans are tuning out for you. The excitement is there, front row. They've been waiting, so they're excited to hear you talk. My first question is, what's your heart rate level right now after that match to kick off the day?
Definitely high. It was one of those games where it went past the final objective didn't decide who won the game. So it was until the very end, definitely heart racing. But you know, in the moment we're calm and collected, and we're trying to think and make the correct decision. So yeah, I'm very happy.
Before we talk about that game 3, which was just an absolute race to the finish line, I want to talk about just the draft strategy. Of course, you went with the gutter pick Metagross in game 2. Game 2 went a little sideways for you. Still had the faith in
What
it.
just happened? Oh no, it's still up.
In the same position game 3.
Is there an
What
error?
did you see across the way that Root Dig was doing that said, yeah, let's go back to this. This is going to work out for us here in the third game.
Yeah, I think in the second game, even though we lost the game, the first half of the game, the early game, is going quite well. So I thought, I don't think the character is the problem. I think we could change around some of the pieces around the Metagross and kind of keep the Metagross as the core, and it ended up, working. So that was the thought process.
Okay, great. So let's talk about this power up.
I don't think I have it.
Bone Rush Lucario. Haruto absolutely
Why is
sliding
Restream doing
around the
this? It
map,
keeps sending
burning about
errors.
35 seconds worth of time just by themselves.
Oh,
on only
interesting.
1/3 HP. Where's the inspiration for that, or is it just the kid's crack? Put him on the Pokemon and it'll.
Why is DubeStats not with
the kid is
Spriggles?
cracked, absolutely. I mean, I used to be the one playing the top lane, but if I were to give up the reins to someone, it would definitely be Haruto. I think he's one of the best, if not the best top player in the world. Very, very cracked at the game. So I'm happy, to give him the top lane.
One last question in terms of the game itself. Clefable in the first game, Pavone, literally healed over half of the damage that Root Dig dealt throughout the entire course of the game. To me, it felt like a great key to success, especially when you came back off respawn with the Urshifu, keeping your all's team alive in that fight. Is Clefable something you guys have always just kind of gone to as a level of comfort? I know you went away from it in Game 3, but it looked pretty solid in Game 1 and 2.
Yeah, the Clefable is a very good pick if the enemy team doesn't have a very fast all-in competition. And since the enemy kind of like to play a little more front to back with the Raichu and the Espeon, they're more front to back heavy. So the Clefable was very good for kind of sustaining the front line and kind of keeping everyone up. And also, when I got picked off early, it allowed everyone to kind of stay calm and remember, like, hey, we have a Clefable here. We don't need to panic. We can still win team fights and slowly come back. And then
Will has 5 years of talking
it worked out great.
on
It looked
stage.
really good. Last
He looks
question,
so
and this is a
comfortable.
personal one to you specifically. You are a 2-time world champion. If you were to become the 3-time world champion, it would be an undeniable mark that you are the best player in Pokemon Unite of all time. What does that mean more to you than a team victory here? I doubt it. You're a team guy. But just let's talk about just you as an individual right now. What would that mean for you personally?
Yeah, it would definitely mean the world to me, especially coming to Japan as a North American player and having all the difficulties that has. So it would definitely be very nice to kind of prove and show the world, that anything is really possible as long as you put in the work and effort. But of course, that wasn't on my mind at first. What's on my mind is I want to see my teammates become world champions. I want to see them raise a trophy for the first time. So that's, to me, what's special to me, and that's what I want to achieve.
He so wants another. He so wants another world championship. He's good. He's so good at talking, but
somebody else is going to be talking to
with,
you right in this position
with the way Overlord, like all of Luminosity was, they're very competitive. He definitely wants another world championship.
Everybody that supported me and Reject on this journey. It's definitely been a long year, so I really appreciate we couldn't have done it without you. And yeah, hopefully, this world we can make everybody proud and kind of show what we're capable of.
Incredibly well said. Everyone, Overlord!
Oh.
Back to the booth.
Let's go.
Well, Overlord, if you were hoping to make everybody proud, I think you have a great start to doing so. A phenomenal beginning for the tournament for Reject. Root Dig Nittalas going to be taking that first loss for North America. However, a tough group. They still have the potential to make it.
It's fine. It's fine. Root Dig will come back and beat the other team.
Question. As I mentioned earlier, that one game could be the deciding factor in that group. We're gonna have to see as the day goes on, and of course,
there's only like 3 teams in their
tournament.
in their group.
Every single game, as long as, of course, they are still relevant to the tournament as we move forward. It is going to be unbelievable. I have to say, as we're moving through this is our last World Championship for Unite, so we're mixing a few things around. I get to have one final cast with my buddy Zoinks. That was incredible. What a game to go out on, brother.
Unreal.
That was amazing. I love you. I'm glad we got to do this together. We're switching around a lot of pairs, so you're going to see that all day here on day 1, even a little bit on day 2. So, yeah, I look forward to that. There are just so many great casters that we have, so many people that I haven't even had a chance to call a game with, but it's really good to have a run back. You and I had an amazing cast for the regionals in North America a year or so back, and now we got to cast one of the best opening games I've ever seen.
It was unreal. I mean, what a start to the tournament. We got everything. Game number 3, of course, all 3 map variants as well. We got to see that Rayquaza. I'm sure we're going to see that more from Root Dig Nittalas throughout their weekend. And we got to see players just absolutely taking names out there on the main stage. This was so fun, but this was just the start of the tournament. The World Championships here in San Francisco are going to be incredible all day long. So we're going to jump to a very quick break, and when we come back, more group stage.
Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
Group C. Oh, I want to see Dark. Okay. Dark Peaches China versus. Oh, I need to just bring up a. Let me do this. Let's see here. Pokemon Unite. Let's see what the bride. Are we showing Slash Cam? Okay. Group C is Brazil versus China. China's gotta have gotten better, right? It must have gotten better since like they were thrown into it a couple of days ago or a couple of years ago. What a waste of a Unite move. Overlord did really good in this game. And so did Haruto. Like the Clefable's down here. Overlord's like all the way up there. Also, I think Overlord tried to unite there, and it gave it back to him, which is why he had it again. The music is good in it. They've upped their music game. So it's gonna be a 12-hour long day, probably. Also, I wonder if it's better to not go first. Oh, Fry's live. Money SMP. Oh.
Welcome back,
Did we
everybody, to the
transition?
Pokemon Unite World Championships 26. It's myself, Surfshan, and Wonder Chef. And honestly,
go.
that was the best way to start group stage.
Yes, unbelievable. That easily could have been
A final.
a grand final match. Yeah,
Right.
and there's actually a pretty decent chance that could end up becoming a grand finals match. So we'll end up seeing, but I mean, yeah, amazing way to start things off, and that's really kind of what the script is, I think, going to be this weekend. It's going to be an amazing tournament. It's, hey, we got to close it out really strong, but we're going to get some other regions, 2 regions new from the last match. Obviously, we've only seen 2 so far, but obviously this is the World Championship, so we're going to see some pretty interesting matchups.
We definitely will. And for this one, we have a Brazilian team, Grêmio Esports. I'm Brazilian, I was trying to do it with an accent. Come on, so Grêmio Esports against Dark Peach, a team coming from China, which we actually haven't had. This is the moment that we finally see China in the World Championships.
Right.
Were they
so
not in
we get a
Worlds
chance to
last
see
year?
that team a little
I
bit
thought they
at
were in Worlds
ACL,
last
which
year.
is actually really nice.
Oh
Of
no,
course,
they
the
were in
first time that we
ACL.
saw, that region
Oh.
at the previous ACL,
I hope
unfortunately,
Dark
felt
Peach
like they
does
didn't
decent. I
quite
want to
have
see
very
how
much
China
experience
does.
on
China's like
the version
the
of United,
only
right? They were
country we
practicing
don't
on
know
a very
anything
different
about
version.
because
They had
their
their own
version of
qualifiers
United is
coming up, so
completely
they
different
really
from
have a chance
ours.
to play. This time around, we were like, okay, what are they going to do? And Dark Peach looked quite good, honestly. We got to see them take down one team, and I forget who it was now, but they unfortunately didn't get super far. However, for a region that hasn't had a lot of experience being able to compete on our version and in the kind of UCS,
Surprised
in
we're
general,
even.
I was very, very impressed, and they've had
I don't
quite
want
a
to talk
bit of
about
time since then
politics.
now, 4 months or so,
No.
to actually practice, and they
I'm
get
good.
to bring something completely new to the table.
Oh, it's so exciting because, like you said, with China having the 500-point mode, it's so different from what we have in usual competitive play for all of these lovely
500-point mode
Unite.
kind of fell off.
That's so emotional
Gonna be for real.
about the weekend, please. Pardon me. This will happen a couple of times. But I am so excited about this one. Once again, we're in group stage. It's day 1 of World Championships here in San Francisco, California. And we have group stage in this last one, a group with 3 teams, but all of the other groups, we have 4 teams each. And they have the top 2 advancing into day 2.
Right, I think there might be one more group that one team couldn't make it, so it's 3. But
visas.
right, but aside from that, of course, yeah, traditionally it is going to be 4 groups, and I believe this is another one of the groups that does have 4, so it's just going to be a little bit more normal. And we talked a little bit about Dark Peach, of course, but we got to talk about, I'm going to say very American, Grêmio. You know, it's Grêmio.
Ah, that was cute. I like it. You seal of approval.
I'll try to say it, Grêmio. So they are more well known, I would say, for anybody who's been following along UCS, as Force, which is a team that should be very, very well known, right?
They definitely are. They were first place in Regional League in Brazil, or actually in Latam, and this Brazilian team has just completely blown everybody out of the water because they were almost undefeated in the regular season. They only dropped 1 series, if I'm not mistaken, with the final record of 11-1, I would say. So really just completely consistent all throughout it. And of course, they finished that first place and guaranteed with the playoffs their spot to Worlds. And now they're here to show that they can not only win in their own region, but definitely win when they go and play against international teams.
Right. Now, of course, this is going to be one of the biggest tests. Now, they have played a pretty good amount against international teams, but this is Worlds. They're going to have to play against the best of the best. And something that really I feel like I'm going to be talking about a lot today is the fact that just because of the nature of how the season works, we haven't seen a lot of these teams for quite a while. We got to see NAIC, of course, but that was still a few months ago. And NAIC only brought some of the more North American-based teams, I would say, to the table. So some of these teams, for example, like Force, I haven't seen them like really truly compete. Obviously, I get a little bit of information like on their player replays and stuff like that, and just what I hear through people. But we don't really know what a lot of these teams are going to bring. Reject, we got to see them play a little bit more recently. Dave, we got to see play a little bit more recently. But both of these teams, for sure, could bring out some new wild options, especially with 5 new Pokemon available and legal since NAIC.
You know, I don't like how they've updated the view count. It's ruining the click through, like the click rate of the video, and like my average.
We haven't seen Aurelius today already being banned constantly in the first series of the day that were Dignitas versus Reject. So I wonder what we're going to be seeing here from these new Pokemon, because we saw a bit of Quaquaval in the previous series as well. So this might be a moment where we get some of these new Pokemon coming into the fray as well.
I especially especially I'm always excited to watch Brazil play. Of course, Brazil, well known as one of the most aggressive regions to ever, we could probably just say the most aggressive region to ever exist in Unite. I think we're kind of at the point now where we can just say the pretty set in stone. But for example, during the main season, for anybody who wasn't watching, we had these stats, kind of like which players had the highest average damage, the average highest KOs, and Brazil was on every single top spot, except for we had one player, like Celeste from NA. But aside from that, it was entirely Brazil because they just fight, they're so aggressive, and that's really their style, and it does work really well. But that does mean that their meta picks are sometimes just slightly different than what we would expect from some of the other regions, but in a very exciting way. And so with new things on the table, new Pokemon on the table, stuff like Quabble could be there, or more importantly, the fact that some of these new picks might be taking up ban slots, which does open up the door for other picks to happen. I'm just excited to see what Brazil's going to bring.
Oh, me too. And of course, always excited for Brazil, but especially about China here, Dark Beach. Just the fact that we've seen so little of them in regards to our competitive style, differently from the version that they have in China. It's just such an important and exciting moment to see what
this is
teams
probably
bring,
a very. None of these are teams that I watch or that I'm rooting for, but I think Dark Peach is the most unknown team in this wait, I can predict. I have 1K. Commute Esports is probably gonna win. We don't know anything about Dark Peach. I'll put 200 on Dark Peach.
There's time not only within, of course, just the first set to kind of try
Guys,
to
my gambling addiction.
The fact that we are in this format where we do have the groups and 2 teams to make it out of each group, we've certainly seen situations where a team has made it out not as the first seed out of their group and then done extremely well or even won. So sometimes, especially I feel like in the history of Pokemon Unite, we found a lot of teams
Forgot I had my other
the
stream
slower
open.
starts. They need to find their groove during the day, during the weekend, but then something just clicks and the rest of their tournament run is incredible. And we could see that from a lot of these teams that are going to be in our first round matches. So it's important to
Gremio Esports is probably the better team out of the two, but
there may be some matches
I also think that we don't know anything about China because with how much China puts on their esports, it wouldn't be surprising.
The pressure that gets just starts building throughout day one when things start to actually become an elimination match. Right now, like you say, just getting a lay of the land and understanding what they can do.
It wouldn't be surprising if they poured a lot of money into Dark Peach and then they're just gonna go all in on this one team for China, and they fully made them they're gonna try because they've been practicing for a year at least.
Game 3s, the high stakes that the
and they hate their version of Unite. No offense, but they do.
Go from here, it just blows up the chart.
Oh yeah, I mean, I do think we need to
even though they got auto trust and we didn't.
Here, of course, being in groups, there are going to be some, I think, a little bit more lopsided matches, and not to say that this one is for sure going to be that way, but looking
yeah, they got auto trust. We didn't get anything like that. Oh man, I really thought we were gonna get the hub that China got, but we ended up not, and now I don't think we ever will.
because of their experience, or it could be the opposite, where they just don't know how to play against the other team. They bring something completely new to the table, to the meta. But I do feel like compared to the previous sets, where we just kind of knew it was going to be a banger, it was going to be close, no questions in our mind. This one, there's a lot of different ways it can go, which is honestly pretty scary, I think, for both these teams.
It really is. It's just that unknown factor, or unknown, if you will. I think that in this case, yes, I do see the tendency of Gremio just taking the upper hand and maybe Dark Peach being this dark horse in this series in particular. But like you said, maybe the innovation and just the fact that, well, what do they do? How do they do it for Dark Peach is just something that is gonna maybe make Force tremble on that basis. But like you said, just the sheer LAN experience that they've had all throughout the years, not only as Force, but also all of the players in this roster, just makes me think that they are going to be able to handle that pretty well. But again, speaking of wildcards, the 5 new Pokemon since NAIC that are now legal could be a factor here in that little bit of a mix and match.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about which Pokemon we might end up seeing that we haven't seen yet. I think we were talking about it last night, but one that I actually think we might see from a team like, well, I should say a region.
The video's not doing bad.
I could see
It's sad that it's doing better than part 1.
Support Pokemon, and we haven't seen it quite yet today. Of course, we've only seen one set.
That's
but
unfortunate.
I know that there's kind of a little bit
Part 1's getting more views because part 2 is doing so well, which is kind of funny. Actually, I should start posting the animations for all of them.
Specifically with the way that they play so aggressively,
Let's see.
I could see it as a possibility, and maybe that's just me.
Part 1 was Zeus,
it's a little bit of bias, I think.
Poseidon,
But I do think
Demeter,
so they could be using that. They could use
Athena,
again, another pretty
Ares,
aggressive Pokemon
and
that we saw from Telex, who did
Hephaestus.
really well with that Pokemon last set. I do
Did I delete
expect that
Hephaestus?
we might see some,
Man, what am I doing?
would also be really good with that Pokemon.
Oh my, yes, absolutely agreed. I think the take on the 2 previous Pokemon as well, on the Meganium and the Crocodile, totally on board with that.
I'll have to re-download it.
Alligator in the hands of such
Twin
an aggressive
Squid, Hephaestus. There we go.
team or a
Are we
region like
lagging?
Brazil is just something too scary to deal with. Just the sheer
Gengar
burst
jump scare.
that you can have with those crushes from Feraligatr, and as we have it here, it has been banned by the side of Dark Beach. As we get into the first draft here of Gremio,
Feraligatr is gonna get banned every tournament. Probably. Or every game.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that is. They're clearly, I mean,
Is Cinderace good in China or something? Is that why we're banning it?
Here that Gremio has found to be able to try and counter them. Obviously, you've got to put some research into every single team, especially if the team is a little bit less known, like Dark Peach. And again, not to say that they're not successful, it's just they come from a region that we haven't been able to compete against more than any other. So we are going to see the first pick, Blastoise, basically the first pick in almost every single game in set number 1 that we saw today, looking like it's going to be a pretty important one.
Yeah, it's such a priority that we've been seeing all across this season in general, and already today confirmed that
what should I write my
with the
post?
Blastoise, with the Snorlax, they have been very dominant and very just high priority pick. On the side of Dark Peach, they go for the Machamp that was also constantly banned in the previous match, plus the Psyduck, one of the most stable supporters that is different from the Eldegoss, also stable, but on the healing side, alongside an Espeon. Okay.
All right, Palkia, yeah, very new Pokemon, one that I'm not nearly as familiar with, so I'm really excited to see how it plays in competitive. But we are going to see, I think it's a really smart choice to take the Espeon away, now that they have those first 2 picks on the side of Dark Peach. We've seen the combo of Espeon and Psyduck be really good, and obviously Espeon Machamp is now a very famous, absolutely nasty combo. So being able to take that burst damage away from them, we've got to find another option. It's like Palkia.
So
I mean, again, I have not seen it as much in competitive play at all. It's a very new Pokemon. This is going to be us learning probably as much as anybody else out here.
Yep. And now on the side of Gremio Esports, they have the Typhlosion plus the Mega
Okay.
Lucario. So differently from what
All
we saw in the
of
previous series, where we saw
the
regular Lucario,
animations
we're back
are
to the Megas.
going
And
to
on the
be
side of Dark Beach, they have selected there with the Palkia that Mamoswine, now plus the Decidueye, that long-range sniper type of carry.
Okay, I
Can
actually
you
really
not
like the Decidueye, right?
do
so now that they have
animations?
obviously the entire
Is it too long?
on the side of Dark Peach,
Or do I have to
they've
make
got a
them
lot
all
of crowd
GIF?
control. You can pull people and move where they
Man.
end up. I mean, I guess we don't really know
whatever.
exactly what they're going to be going on the Psyduck, but Psychic would be a really solid choice, obviously. But you really wanted the Espeon to be able to follow that up, right? You want to be able to kind of move somebody, crowd control them, and then know exactly where to target that Psyshock. They don't have it. So
Okay.
another really
I guess
good
I'll go
option is
through
going to be
all of them and
Decidueye.
do.
Another really nice choice that
Make them all gifts.
reason to choose Decidueye is that it has so much range, and we've now committed to a lot of
Mamoswine, Mega Lucario, Typhlosion is an interesting one. I'm surprised Dark Peach is using Palkia with how bad it is in solo queue.
Yeah, I like it a lot as well. I like your pronunciation of Gremio a lot as well. We're just improving all the way as we go.
I'm just gonna make a GIF of
really
all of
enjoy
these.
it on both sides here. I feel like there's some very powerful, just staple, high priority picks with the Blastoise and the Espeon on the side of Gremio. I like the Typhlosion as well. We'll see what this type of long range carry is also going to be doing. Long/mid range against that Decidueye, but of course you need to get those 3 evolutions completed to actually.
I like these like replay shots.
Benefit from all.
I wouldn't say they're replay, but I guess I'm so Minecraft coded.
Gremio Esports, your purple team, Dark Peach, your orange team. As we get into this first game of the best of 3 Group C in day 1.
I put 200 on Dark Peach. Honestly, with who wins.
Observing that we've got here back for Worlds. Love to see it. But it's time to see where everybody's going. We see an invade actually going into the east side already, and it's going to be the Gossifleur that's already starting to be aggressive up against the Machamp. It does look like they were not able to steal away that buff. Lel, of course, one of the best Eldegoss players, I would say, in the world. Extremely strong on it, and I mean, honestly, getting him off that Pokemon is going to be probably a key point for a lot of these matches going up, but we'll see if they can take away the blue buff as well. No, 2 for 2.
Okay, so Kemzy is able to confirm both
both
buffs there, and Leo is going to return to the top side of the map. Now, Soto takes quite a lot of damage here on 50% HP, as Leo hasn't yet evolved into the Eldegoss. We see Kiluk also on 50%, just trying to get some of that pressure in here, with a gank coming from Angelzine to guarantee that Swablu-Altaria.
Yeah, we talk about
they're all mobile players.
Out of Brazil, and look at this, already 4-stack.
I think the US is the only.
4-stack, as you say, and Diago takes so much damage there as the Psyduck. They have popped that headache as well.
There's so many mobile players. I'm actually shocked.
And you get to see like how teams choose to fight against the aggression. And right there, Dark Peach just said, nope, we immediately see there's 4. We are backing up. We are not overcommitting. We're not going to allow this team to get that early advantage, especially they've got a pretty strong path up there. Their duo can be hard to fight, but they're holding on. Lel still needs a little bit more experience, has been starved a little bit after the failed invade, but so far, Brazil kind of doing what they're doing, but Dark Peach not giving up any KOs yet.
Absolutely not, and not giving up any.
They're playing really safe.
It was Gremio Esports who got that Swablu-Altaria on the top side. Their numbers are looking pretty good, especially on the Machamp, now hitting level 7.
The interesting choice here was to everybody to kind of stack top, right, for the side of Brazil. Like they could have maybe tried to take away the experience from the
which I think is very interesting.
Top again, which does mean they're probably going to be pretty aggressive on that side in general.
Oh
wow, nice steal. I mean, where even were they? I actually didn't really see what their positioning was. I kind of thought they weren't in the right spot, but great way to steal that away. And again, really needed experience from the Decidueye being stolen away.
Yep, that side shock does so good.
Oh, Palkia's going down. Palkia's going down.
Still standing.
Yeah, Palkia's dead.
Not anymore, but maybe the
oh,
gonna get taken
are we gonna get?
By Kemzy, as they have forced to use that.
Oh, they double. They traded. That's fine. That's fine.
Certainly ahead. This is going to be a little bit of a comeback game, and the thing is, the experience isn't that hugely different, but you can see that Dark Peach has already kind of clocked the idea that they are going to be behind, especially at the start, which by their team comp just makes sense, right? I mean, 3 different Pokemon that need to evolve into a 3rd stage, and on the other side, I guess they've got 2, but they tend to be a little bit aggressive a lot faster, so they are playing safe. They're playing safe in this exact spot too. We see the Regice not even really challenged. They might try to steal it, but no, they can sense that it's not going to be a chance. Still playing a little bit safe. We do need this little bit more experience on the Decidueye. Level 7 is going to be a huge game changer. If they've had that a little bit earlier in time for that objective fight, they might have been able to challenge it more, but they've just got to find it.
Ooh, and they found a good Psychic here onto Soto. That Blastoise is jumped down to 30%, goes onto the Berry, and especially with the Eldegoss, the Pollen Puff is going to be able to get them up into a healthy measure.
What are these shots?
The top side has maintained this
I know they want to up
to
production.
As much XP as possible by themselves in this lane. To look, Maya catch here, the Palkia, they're in the bush, they're going to find
But
them,
like they gotta do.
at this point. Swablu-Altaria getting dominated by Gremio Esports, as once again we just see them getting so much control over what's around the map.
A lot of people gathering here. They're actually getting kind of sandwiched, and that's a huge first pick.
It really is. It is a 1-for-1 already as the fight is continuing here. Falb deals a lot of damage with this Typhlosion, but it's a 2-KO streak that goes to the Espeon. They continue on Diango, and now it's going to be 3 members of Dark Peach that go down in this fight, just showing how aggressive and successful they can be at Gremio Esports at this strategy.
This is, I mean, it's really interesting because it really feels like Gremio has been winning every single fight. They are winning in levels pretty significantly now, but the points difference is not huge. They haven't taken out that many goal zones. I say that as immediately we're going to see Palkia go down and, oh, actually, wow, escaped. Prove me wrong. But we are going to see the goal zone go down most likely. It looks like they're trying to do a little bit of math. They got some little bit of an unfortunate amount of numbers there. They might be able to get a few more in before the buff goes. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, optimal math. So now we're going to start to see a points lead being built up.
Math.
Obviously, the first set of the day, we saw how important the points lead can be, even against a loss on the main objective.
That is so true, and 128 to 6 is pretty significant. Although Ice Fang manages to get someone picked off here, 4-3-2 is finally a Memus one, and with 4 seconds for bottom objective, Dark Peach finally finds a lead.
And I really cannot point out how nasty this team is. I mean, the Dark Peach, they are chosen a very cool comp where the entire thing is, we talked about the Psyduck, we talked about the Machamp, but the Ice Fang as well into Decidueye. So it's all about lining up that burst damage and just chain crowd controlling one single Pokemon, and they really are going to try to do that the entire game.
They're doing pretty well here, Academy Esports, with Soto managing to get, although they were picked off here, they were able to separate Dark Peach from the objective as Gnemu has confirmed bottom Reggie. Now on the other side of the map, we have a scuffle in the central area. Pollen Cloud Crash is used, but they're not going to overcommit on this one. They go into the central though, 4-3-2, takes damage from Typhlosion, but Falb knows
Dark Peach is playing it extremely safe. They're not playing aggressive whatsoever.
Solid experience up in the competitive scene to try, and there we go.
Oh, nice.
Back, and there's just so much crowd control. You love to see it. They're going to get the KO on the
What did it do? Why does it do that every time Blastoise unites? It's like they go instant to replay mod and then
taken down, or are they just waiting for the Spirit Shackle? But it's not going to go onto the Elder Gods this far. Now going with the Surf Soto into the back line, 1v4 almost. This Blastoise against Dark Peach as they're going onto the pad, push them back once again. Falb takes a lot of damage, and there they go up into the air, just trying to do something here as the Palkia, but it's two that get taken down by Dark Peach, and Glamour is just dominating this pad. They continue pushing forward. 4-3-2 gets knocked out. It's a 3 KO Shriek for Falb.
Falb was looking unstoppable, and certainly target priority is going to be a big deal for Dark Peach, and I think their target priority probably just shifted pretty significantly to okay. Well, let's take down Falb.
Dark Peach is they're doing better than they were before.
Still certainly going to be the case.
But I think they're still like behind, especially with the players that are like teams that have been playing for years now. Dark Peach just doesn't have the experience, I don't think, and they just don't know what the meta is anywhere else.
Taking out some of the strong DPS and then trying to close this out.
Closing it here,
but like Machamp is almost level 13.
Dark Peach is around the area. They are still a little bit cautious about how they're going to proceed. Goes in with the Machamp, but they are going to go straight onto the opposite side. They know it's not going to be just favorable enough with 19 seconds for that final stretch.
I like that we haven't seen Dark Peach overcommit almost at all. Their positioning's been really good, but this is where it's going to start to get scary for sure. With only 10 seconds left, they are going to see Soto trying to move down. They're going to engage.
What a great pickoff on Kiluk. They get taken down immediately, and that's the Aura Cannon. They get some damage onto Dark Peach's backline, but Soto now the front line on a little less HP because of that knock from Listia, and especially with the Dark Shackle.
Are they ripping? Are they just full sending? But
on Astra is just locked up behind a pit. That's a 1v4 straight onto the back line. There's the Hydro Typhoon as well with the Sai. Dango just trying to build some space there because Fab is on the back line. Nobody is going down this far. Listia is still in a good position. Nice Psychic Slam.
It's over.
Members of Dark Peach that get taken down, and now 4-3-2 is just lined up as the numbers are accumulating for Grêmio Esports. They're going for that crowd on. There is going to be Mammoth Swan going down, but there's the Machamp trying to get some retaliation back here. They go with a submission as well. With the punches onto the wall, it's not enough. Just close.
Oh my gosh, he stole it!
Guaranteeing that, but still Dark Peach steals it. But there's no members of Dark Peach here that can actually push.
What an incredible Spirit Shackle right there. I do have to say, I feel like there were a lot of moments of that team fight that were played extremely well by Dark Peach. They were just very clearly not up to level, and so they were slowly losing more and more of their members. But I mean, with only less than a minute left and there's 180-ish points difference, I'm not really sure how they're going to counter push. Maybe if this was Rayquaza, they managed to steal that, but there's going to be at least a buff on the other side. We do see some buffs. I mean, we see at least one buff up right here, but we'll see. They get one more chance to push. They've got to score kind of a lot. We do see a counter push potentially happening on the bottom, or a flank even up top.
Oh, very interesting here. Sneaky push there by Grêmio, while Dark Beach is focusing solely on the top side. Grêmio Esports is going for that back cap as well, as they have accumulated 336, 436 to 238. So it's 200 points differential here. Dark Beach doesn't have enough in the bag right now. They still need to score with a couple of different members. 10 seconds to go. Typhlosion here onto Kempsey, and there's not enough time. Grêmio Esports will take this first game with a healthy
unfortunate.
point lead.
Wow, another essentially score race at the end of a game. We are seeing that a lot right now, but that's a great strategy. If you know that you're up by enough, you can just sit there and wait and say, hey, we got to wait for them to move forward to score, and then we can score. It's going to be a very easy way to counter things, but like
it's what Reject just did.
An amazing job on Dark Peach trying to fight that final team fight. They landed some really, I mean, obviously the first
Dark Peach is doing like decent.
Gigantic for them. They landed some really nice combos after that. The peel that we actually saw, once Falb tried to dive onto this Decidueye, we'll see in a little bit later, the peel was really, really nice from the support side of Dark Peach, but unfortunately they were just a little bit too weak as far as levels go, and so they just weren't able to make it happen. But I'm very impressed with what I saw from them, and that's what I was excited to see, a team that we haven't been able to see that much. But Force, I feel like they were just playing the Force game, and that's what they do.
They did. They really forced this win. I think it was such a good coordination and good, just would say, representation of what Brazil can do and what they enjoy doing as a playstyle. On top of what you mentioned there about Dark Peach, Chef, I love how they were able
that
to
was just unfortunate for Dark Peach.
Like you said, because
I think they're just they just don't have the.
Listia was able to take that crowd on and steal it. It wasn't enough. They didn't have enough points, and it was a straight up good strategy from Grêmio as well to recognize. Look at that final moment, Spirit Shackle. Oh, and Kiluk was so
The Spirit Shackle was crazy though.
As well, but then we're not able to complete it.
Yeah, again, I think there were just so many good moments from Dark Peach throughout the entire thing, but that's the really cool thing about Pokemon Unite, is that there's so many different ways that you can try to play the pacing of the game. So you can try to be a team that does really well early, and we can see Falb did really well early and late. The entire game was unstoppable by the end of it. But you can play an early game and just try to hold on to a lead so that no matter what happens at the end, it works out for you. That's kind of what we saw Force do there. You can play for the final objective, but you have to make sure you're not too far behind. You can try to kind of hit a certain power spikes to try to become like a mid-game team. There are just so many different ways that you can try to play out this game, and Force knows exactly what they wanted to do. They played it to perfection.
And I think it's very interesting, excuse me, how we notice, okay, that Cinderace ban, what's the thought process here? When we see on the side of Dark Beach that they went for Listia on the
Dark Beach, it looked like they were banning from what they saw from Reject. I don't know if they're banning based off of the team.
Flood attack damage. Of course, when we see that Grêmio really studied their opponent and they knew how to perform.
I don't know why they're picking Palkia. It still didn't do good. Unite move did nothing.
What they do best, to be aggressive and to just go in from the get-go with invades, with very well organized.
Like it was good early game, but like late game it just didn't do enough damage.
Now that we get to see at the end, I kind of feel like I was excited to see what Palkia was going to bring to the table, as it's a Pokemon that's been a little bit more recently released and definitely wasn't legal in the last event that we saw. And I don't feel like we really got a chance to see it really pop off all that much. I mean, it certainly like kind of was.
I don't think it has enough.
Bad, but just felt, I don't know. I would love to see it again, is what I'm trying to say, if they really feel confident in it. But we are going to be staying on the same sides and the same map here, so everything pretty much exactly the same. And it looks like a lot of the bands are looking very much the same as well.
In fact, they are. We have here the Cinderace with the Umbreon, but now with a pick of the Machamp here to deny Dark Beach, because some of those plays were really, really good by Kemsey. With the Feraligatr plus Blastoise and a Mew from Dark Beach.
Comfey is up for grabs.
Narrow down
That's it. Oh, are they gonna go?
Dark Beach is very clearly showing.
Comfey Snorlax is scary.
But Zacian is going to be a really, really good choice. Encounter rate extremely high. I think that might have been my pick for highest. Oh no, that might have been my ban choice today. Maybe I'm wrong, but Snorlax was definitely my highest encounter rate pick as far as my predictions. And for wow, that was first pick makes a lot of sense. But alongside Zapdos is going to be really interesting. Not a Pokemon that we've seen so far in our first, I guess, 2 sets of the day, but one that I wasn't sure we were going to see all that much. I know Evil Genius has been doing quite well with it, a few other teams, but in the current meta...
Blissey? Miraidon.
Definitely. Oh, okay with Miraidon as well.
Why are we still playing on Palkia? Do they only know how to play Palkia? Is that like... Oh god. They're just playing whatever they want. Okay. Scizor pick is kind of interesting.
Our teams are getting pretty different at this point. I mean, we've got some really...
This is
solid picks here.
Very interesting.
Early pick. It's a Pokemon that Force has been really successful with, was I was going to say, but I'm really excited for this one. Galarian Rapidash. That is a Pokemon that we've seen bits here and there. I think after its last buff that it got, it ended up being a lot more used as being able to kind of hunt down the backline ranged attackers on the side of the opponents. And some of the players, especially like out of U, have looked really strong with it, as well as now stealing away this Mamoswine. So I love the draft from Gremio.
So do I. Honestly, seeing that Galarian Rapidash on Valve is just like one of my favorite picks on this player, alongside the Blaziken as well. So I love this very, very much. Great setup with the Ice Fang that can be done there by Soto. Also very well experienced player on this Mamoswine, and taking that away from Dark Peach too, because I will say in general 4-3-2 was such a highlight playmaker for Dark Peach.
Right, and Snorlax can be such a playmaker Pokemon. We've already seen a pretty interesting build from it. I mean, we've seen, I think, 2 builds from it today. No, maybe we didn't see it. But we definitely at least saw Flail and Wall, which is a really interesting build. Not one that I usually expect to see, but we saw it out of maybe the best Snorlax player in the world. That's arguable, but definitely in the talk of it, which is Zugrug earlier on. So we'll see what they end up choosing this time around. And I do have to assume that we are going to be seeing the Scyther coming out from Kemsey, but of course you never really know. There could be anything happen.
I'm excited for this. This is nothing like what you see in Western teams whatsoever.
Obviously, we've seen a lot of other regions do very well with that Pokemon.
Definitely, I think it's a good strategy if you want to just really nail down that Miraidon. Of course, we usually see that charge beam coming through, but maybe we'll see some adaptability with an Electro Drift if it is the case.
I find it. I think it's very interesting because Gremio Esports doesn't have any, or they have Cumons that need Eos energy, so they can't be scoring a lot. The Clefable and the Mamo are invading.
From Gremio. I still want to keep calling them Force, but they are now Gremio. So already we'll see if they
called them Force twice already.
Any of those buffs. It looks like with 2 people, they're probably doing a pretty good job of it, but hopefully we can get to that in a little bit. All right, we are going to be moving over there, I think. All right, we'll see.
I don't think they did anything.
Lev's got a buff, maybe. Oh, it's Soto who's got a buff. Let's go. Gremio Esports with a double invade, successfully making sure that they would steal that objective, those buffs there. Kemsey takes a lot of damage, and now Soto, not even with a sign-up, was able to set up Endrozine for such good damage.
Yeah, this is, I mean, that's going to be a great way to start. I do wonder if we ended up stealing away any more experience in that invade, but just to be able to slow down that Scyther. They are going to hit level 5 now, but you can see they're just barely getting here in time for the spawns. Okay, if they'd been slowed down like 5 more seconds, that could have been huge.
Maybe. Well, 3 members here on the top side, and it is Dark Peach who gets majority there of the experience. Leldo is there on level 4, so they are at least that Blissey to allow for more healing. Bot side though, 4 members of Gremio pushing out on their bot tier 1.
Now we get the chance to see maybe a little bit more of what Palkia can do, but going up against Zacian is not going to be easy for anybody. Of course,
why is it lagging?
Pokemon, I would say, probably of all time. And we're going to get a little bit of an assist from the Zapdos, so it's going to be a little bit scarier, but back to 2v2, and the Palkia may have overextended a little bit.
Oh, he definitely did. Zacian can do just very much damage. Explosive, such burst, 2 KO streak going there for Kiluki, as now it's not looking that great here on the top side for Dark Peach.
And I was saying earlier, in the previous game, I really don't feel like Dark Peach overextended almost a single time, but already we've seen a few kind of big team fight losses. Well, I wouldn't say team fight, like kind of path losses so far, and especially giving that kind of experience to something like a Zacian is going to be very, very dangerous, so you really want to try to steal back this lead somehow, and you can see with the fight in the middle, maybe that's what they're trying to do.
We'll see. Regidrago is up for grabs. Now going onto the back line there with that little bit of freeze coming from that swine up. They are able to take one member down from Dark Beach, and they have separated the orange team really, really
It's
well.
so
Now
laggy.
focusing there on the Reggie Drago, as there was a 2 KO streak that went for Falb. They go down immediately, but Listia is also going to get taken down instead. Reggie Drago hasn't been continued, but it is around on 40% HP.
It's so funny to see how little some of these teams value Reggie Drago. Like, you could take 3 seconds and take that thing down. It looks like somebody will be taking it down in the meantime, Soto. Just a little bit of life left on that, but they were able to check that bottom tier 1 at least, and that's going to be, again, just a lead growing and growing for Gremio. They just, I don't know, they feel like they got to play the game this game that they wanted to play last game, and they already won the game last game, so it's just looking better and better.
They definitely are now with Reggie here on the bot side. Reggie Drago Soto on 1% HP going into the backline. Falb goes with that Unite move on Listia, almost able to take them down finally with the Dazzling Gleam. They do. 4-3-2 is in damage as Gremio has once again dominated a team fight and converting that into yet another objective. That Zapdos is most likely going to get taken down as well by Falb, and that is just what happens.
Regirock getting
it's just lagging really badly right now.
Of Gremio, but up top we are going to see a pretty solid defense, although Regirock already did go in, and it does look like 40 points went in. It's going to even up the score at least a little bit. I don't know if they want to break this. They're not going to get a huge overdunk, but they are going to fight on it at least a little bit, and they are going to break that tier 1 in full commit.
Fully committing here on a 2v2, and Alicia once again in terrible danger with that eject button having to be forced as well. Yet another member of Dark Beach gets taken down, making it 4. The only person who's standing is that Palkia on the bot side, just because they weren't even threatened by anybody.
I know I keep pointing out kind of like the strong things the Dark Beach are doing, but again, it's because it's a team that I'm not familiar with. They're doing a really good job of trying to keep up and score, even though they are losing in the level department pretty significantly here. And luckily, they're not behind by a significant amount at the moment, but they obviously have to find some answers, and it doesn't seem like they're on the path to finding these answers quite yet. So both tier 1s, or I'm sorry, the bottom tier 1, both sides relatively weak, I'll say. I mean, Gremio's is like half, I guess. So they could push that down for kind of a big boost in points if they really.
The Zapdos is a little under level.
Zapdos Unite pretty soon, but
real.
Oh, big Ice Fang.
Yes, once again, Mamoswine just.
Do you lag out?
Such an important defender for engages, but especially because you have that healing with the Blissey as well. You can get them back to health, and now Astra is in danger. Listia has to use that Glacial Stage. They're on the back line. They're not able to really do anything there, although on the other side is Kemzy with that Scyther, but a fully commit from Gremio Esports onto the enemy. Tier 1 bad Falb is going to focus onto Astra, who gets taken down. It is a full team wipe, as although they have already respawned because the timers are pretty quick. It was still 5 members of Dark Beach that go down.
5 members and 6th member if you consider the tier 1 goal zone. Sometimes that is your strongest teammate, but that's gone. Regirock's gone. Regirock not even part of their team, and still, getting hit by some strays, unfortunately. So that's just even more objectives to the side of Gremio with 4 minutes left. It feels like we're much later into this game than we are, but they've just been doing such a good job, and we already see a level 13 with plenty of time to still level. The Zacian just hit 12 as well, and on the other side, 11 is the highest for Dark Peach. They need to find one good pick to get some rubber band experience here.
Yeah, they got a Reggie like it. This might just be the turning point for them, as they're not that behind on points. Now
the Scyther needs to go in on the back line.
From Soto, but they have to use eject button to get away because that Bright Future Meteor Storm is just really bursting them down with a charge beam as well. Astra goes down, 2 KO streak going for Angel Z, as Kemzy is in between 4 members of Gremio Esports. Dark Beach unfortunately not able to convert on this one. Falb is just bursting them.
This is just sad to watch.
And yet another teammate of Dark Beach goes down as this tier 1 top will fall.
Gremio, there we go.
Great overcap.
Just like you said, and still the points lead is not huge. They do have to be a little bit careful, but the positioning here that's going to give them for the final stretch is going to be huge. I mean, they still have a tier 1, which is going to be very advantageous. They've got really high mobility, too, so they're going to be able to be a threat kind of across the entire map. They're also kind of, I guess,
Restart.
setting up some, pretty nice vision
Restart.
Not necessarily going to be holding that for all that long because there's not that much to defend, but they're in a spot where they can set that way up for the final stretch. They're sitting pretty preemptively. And look how aggressive they're moving forward.
Well, would you look at that? It's a sneaky play on the top side there. They get somebody here that gets completely destroyed. But over the wall, Astra goes with a little bit of shielding on their side. Although Killer finds them there, still able to escape on the other side. Dark Peach gets taken down. It's the Scyther that goes to the Pokemon Center as they're still trying to get at least some survivability, but they're not able to do so. Dark Peach with 3 members down in 9 seconds for final stretch. It's not looking good.
That was the
It's just hard. This is hard to watch.
Ever seen from that Palkia, just out in the open in vision. But we've got now the spawn. They're going to be.
I can't believe they have replay shot out on this. They're pulling from Minecraft.
No, Zacian, easy take.
This.
It's the Sovereign Sworn, baby. Grêmio Esports is going to guarantee this objective. And now Dark Peach with 2 members, 3 members going down. Bright Future, Meteor Storm looking good for Grêmio Esports. It is a full team wipe. They go to the bot side. 314 just growing.
That's just unfortunate.
This is looking like it is set in stone. This team is just everywhere. You cannot lock these Grems in a shoebox. They are all across the map, and they've just not allowed Dark Peach to play anything. This is such an impressive game as well from Grêmio, right? Well, obviously, we got to see them win in game number 1, but going into game number 2, they learned so much about Dark Peach's style, and they adapted. When you can adapt that well, even on a win, it is so impressive. So 1 minute left in the game, and this is one of those moments where it's so hard to say that a comeback is even possible. We are going to be taking more and more KOs. I mean, we do see Rhydon go down, so that's going to be pretty big chance as well for a few others. So, hey, maybe this is not quite wrapped up yet.
We'll see. 50 seconds to go, and Dark Peach is able to take 3 members of Grêmio Esports down. Lel is just rushing for their tier 1 bot side as they know they are very much exposed. They might just have to give this one away. It's going to be even more points in this exposed zone, but they are still 200 points behind, 180 to be precise, as now Killuk is going into the backline of Dark Peach. A very nice block coming from 432, and that Glaceon has just spawned. The Power Nap is able to just get them up into the air fast enough for Dark Peach to take this bot tier 2, as now Killuk is in danger. Maybe there's going to be a pick off. Kemsey will take down the Blissey. Killuk is in a terrible position once again, but they are able to at least get away for 1 more second. It was 200 points that they had to score. I'm not sure if they were able to do so. They are here in the base goal zone. Dark Peach just trying to get as much as they can, but I don't know if that was enough.
I don't think that was enough.
They scored in the tier 2 as well up top, but they needed, I think, just a short of 100 points to catch up right there, and I'm not sure if it was enough. We are going to see the score here.
No, it was so close.
A really well thought push from Dark Peach in the final moments. Honestly,
that was really Dark Peach tried. They really tried.
Despite the fact that was a little bit of a stressful moment, that is going to be Grêmio taking the set 2-0. A team that is definitely favored to go extremely far in this tournament. But look, you can already see, I don't think they're happy with how the end of that game went, because that was certainly a chance of a comeback. I mean, they're happy to win, but you can see the looks in their faces, right? You cannot be satisfied with something like that.
It was such a threat. It was such a threat. 50 seconds is plenty of time, Chef, like you pointed out. And just the fact that they were able to convert so many knockouts there at Dark Beach, very nicely done by them to try to adapt all throughout the game. Having a deficit in the first one in points. Later on, game 2 being pretty equal, but Grêmio once again proving that the team fights, they are just very well constructed by them.
Yeah, they played exactly the game that they wanted to play. Like I said, it was just really solid from front to back. It's exactly what we expected out of this team that's been so incredibly dominant. Grêmio just forced to be reckoned with, of course, unintended.
I don't know. Dark Peach did pretty good against them, all things considered.
There's so many good teams that came out of the LATAM region.
They just, I don't know why they're playing Palkia. I don't know why they think it's good. I think they're the only team who thinks it's good enough to be put in Worlds. To be in Worlds. Unless it's stronger in the Chinese version. But there's no way they think it's good enough.
And then, I mean, aside from the very ending, it felt like Grêmio did so much better in game number 2 and just continued to play off of what they learned in game number 1.
Totally agreed, Chef. I think there was a lot that we saw from Grêmio that confirmed our expectations about them. There was a lot from Dark Beach that made us very happily surprised with how they adapted, how they didn't let themselves falter at the end of just being so pressured in the early game. That is a MVP for Falb on this Galarian Rapidash. 19, I'll say that again, 19 knockouts and 2 feints, 8 assists, 95,000 damage scored. Like I said, Falb, this is one of his favorite picks.
And Falb, I mean, such an amazing player, obviously getting MVP twice in a row. We were talking about the other night, I don't think you were there, it might have been me and Kello. We're talking about the
Players that have been at Worlds every single year. And I think Falb might be one of them. Brazil has a lot of members that have been there every single year. Just because the strong players in Brazil have been so consistently strong and placing on top teams, and sometimes it gets shifted around a little bit as to which player is on which team, but Falb is certainly no stranger to this stage, and it certainly shows. So being able to see both this pick and the Typhlosion, I think really fun picks to see out of two Pokemon that I think Brazil in particular is awesome.
Yeah, I would love to give a highlight as well because you mentioned that.
You did really good, guys.
I believe him and Lel have been at least like all of Worlds, maybe -1. Them both together. Most of the time, them both in the same team. And honestly, I don't know if you noticed, but it was in 100,000 heal on that Blissey.
Yes. We are seeing a lot of healing today. But you were talking about Falb and Lel being at the Worlds all
Healers are getting some love, which is really nice. Hopefully, Blissey will get a battle pass there.
Entirety of the UCS. So let's see what they've got to say after winning their first round match.
Thank you so much, Wonder Chef. That's right, I am on stage with Lel after a big first win
To start the World Championships, Lel, you have gotten the chance to play on a lot of international stages now. World Championships, the Asia Champions League, LAIC. How has all that experience leveled up you and your team for this World Championships?
Então, você teve muita experiência, né, com os seus campeonatos internacionais. Ele queria entender como é que você fez para o seu jogo melhorar ainda mais.
Eu acho muito legal, né? A gente até hoje, eu, o Falb e o Souto, a gente joga junto desde o primeiro Mundial. A gente conseguiu participar de todos. Então, é muito bom. Tipo, a gente criou casca, assim. É muito bom para o nosso desenvolvimento como player. Então eu acho legal, fora isso também, conhecer o mundo graças a esse jogo é sempre muito bom.
So he, Fab, and Souto, they have been playing together since their first championship, and that's been really good for them to actually improve. And it's good to know their game and improve a lot.
I love that. The synergy, the teamwork, it looks so good on stage every time. Now, speaking of that, your team looked amazing. I had to ask, who would you give the team MVP of that last match to?
Seu time foi maravilhoso. Quem é que você escolheria como seu craque do jogo, MVP?
Sem dúvida nenhuma, o craque dessa série foi o Falb. Ele fez um jogo absurdo de Typhlosion e depois 19 kills de Rapidash. Então não tem como escolher, tem que escolher o Imperador.
Eu falo mesmo porque com 19 kills de Rapidash aí também é uma coisa assim impressionante. He is the best, really. He was amazing with 19 kills with Rapidash, and
right.
You know, you have to pick the guy, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I mean 19 is a big number. That makes sense. All right, well, there's a lot of teams internationally here competing at the World Championships. What team are you most excited to play against?
Tanto time que tem aqui, qual que você tá mais animado para enfrentar aqui?
Eu gostaria de enfrentar algum time brasileiro, acho que nunca aconteceu em outro mundial. Então eu acho que seria muito legal, tipo, enfrentar a Fames ou a Tuzi num mundial. Acho que não seria bom porque um ia acabar indo pra casa, né? Mas acho que seria legal finalmente os dois brasileiros se enfrentarem.
It would be awesome to see two Brazilian teams facing each other. It wouldn't be cool because one of them would have to go home, but facing either of them, it would be awesome.
Oh, man, I want to see that match now. That sounds so fun. Okay, last question as well. You traveled a long way here. I know people are here supporting you, but also people at home. So anything to say to the folks at home?
Então, você viajou de muito longe, né? Então tem alguém que você quer mandar uma mensagem lá pra casa?
Eu gostaria de mandar uma mensagem para todo mundo que sempre torceu por mim, né? E pelo meu time, então queria mandar um beijo a todo mundo e é os guri do Grêmio.
To thank everyone that's been supporting them. It's the boys from Grêmio.
Oh, I good luck to you in the rest of the tournament. We're going to throw it back to the booth as the casters take us home.
Official confirmation from Zoinks. 19 is a large number. That's what we got to hear out of that one. But no, great to hear. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of all of those players on that team. And like I said, we've seen them so many times. And they're also just all really wonderful people. And like I said, Lel is absolutely the coolest. The other coolest thing is how you pronounce Rapidash.
Happy-dash.
Happy-dash. Yeah, it's so cool.
Happy-dash.
I'm not going to try it. I'm going to mess it up.
You're okay. I'll teach you later, and then we come back, stronger together.
Yeah, but no, I love seeing all of them do really well. And I feel like Brazil is a region as well that has constantly done very well at Worlds, very well at every single offline event that they end up showing up to, but they haven't quite clutched out that win yet, right? They've been pretty close, so I know that as a region, they really want to make this happen, obviously, here at the final World Championship Pokemon Unite, and that would be huge for them.
Yeah, and of course, we need to highlight the fact that we saw on the first LAIC that Pokemon Unite was on, that Tuzi was second place there against Luminosity Gaming, so very high podium place there. On the second LAIC last year, last year, but this season,
yeah.
They were third place there. DreamHack, it was actually a tie. It was a third match tiebreaker between two Brazilian teams to get that third spot to go to ACL, and DreamHack was there, right? So, well, it was for DreamHack, wasn't it?
I think so. It gets really confusing because, like I said, so many of the players in Brazil switch what teams they're in. Yeah, so I can sometimes remember which players it is, and I'm like, well, which team was it actually? So
I know.
But yeah, it definitely gets a little confusing with that. There are a few regions that are like that. We were like, well, I remember the names, but
yeah, it happens. But all right, that was incredible. I love it. We saw a little bit of Asia versus NA. Now we saw Asia versus Latin America, and we'll get things even more spicy as the day goes on. We're gonna go into a quick short break as we get
what's
things ready for our
taking
third
up all my
series of the day.
disk
So stay tuned
space?
for more Pokemon Unite at Worlds 2026.
Oh, what's the creepy music for? Why is there so much creepy music? What's happening? Their music choices have gotten a lot better. There we go.
San Francisco.
when it
Dusmax
changes over,
alongside Kellosaurus.
we can start doing
And we're
some
paired
games.
up to bring
I'll
some
start doing
magic
some
here.
games in the
And
corner.
the last time Pokemon Unite's going to be on the world stage.
Yes, I am so excited, especially considering how these two sets have
They might just go, hey, we'll just play the same strategy, see how Stamina Esports reacts. Now, if Stamina was paying attention earlier, Root Dig every single game, I believe, banned Comfey, Blissey, and Zarina. So if
When
Stamina
can I spend my
Esports has
deal?
taken notes, Dig played a very close set against Reject, and that might be part of the success train for Stamina here in this big-time matchup.
I guess that is just really the tricky thing, right? There's only the 3 bans per side, 6 in total. Well, do you go in for these somewhat blanket bans that are just these really strong Pokemon, or do you want to go for more of those targeted picks, especially when teams, well, they've, you know, been at the World Championships, run into each other multiple times here and there. They're very well versed in terms of, I'm sure, watching the online tournaments as well. We'll have to wait and
Why
see how
can
this
I
plays
not-
out as we head into our draft.
Let's
Did I
take
miss
a look.
it?
And Stamina is
Man.
banning the Feraligatr here, which means Reject has an option to take some other things off the chopping block here. Or put it on
Zacian
the chopping
ban?
block, I suppose.
Interesting.
Zacian, Snorlax, Umbreon with Comfey. So
Yes,
Stamina
prediction.
taking a page out of Root Dig's strategy. We'll see where they close out. Espeon. And Espeon is a Pokemon that I think is going to have an incredibly high encounter rate
Go
this
back to
weekend.
go back to
because it's
prediction.
Such an amazing early game attacker.
Predict.
And it fills
Custom.
so many different roles.
Putting
for the
1,000
team
channel points on
throughout
Reject.
the process of a game.
Yes, and it was did end up getting played by Reject earlier in the set as well, so taking that away. But it looks like Reject
All my points on Reject,
their
guys.
first pick. I know they end up having that Metagross Clefable Claw in that first set, so are we going to end up seeing a different look from them this time around?
Probably.
Prioritizing
I want to see
and that means
Dhelmise in this
Hitman
game.
and Minotaur are going to get Blastoise
No, Dhelmise is
and
Slash Can.
Mew, two incredibly great Pokemon with incredibly high encounter rates.
Wait,
And
did I
we're seeing
just
there,
call it?
Blastoise repping a 100%
Sylveon could
And
be
Kel,
could
I'm
be a
not gonna lie
pick.
to you, I'm pretty tired of Blastoise. I kind of wish it would just get banned so we don't have to watch it this much. But you know what? If it's there,
Buzzwole,
it's good, you pick it.
interesting.
Especially with that Unite move as well. That power
Getting
to
some more
throw
death.
and
Oh,
interrupt
never
multiple
mind. We're not
members,
getting
but
Dusty.
Here we are. We actually have a Buzzwole being
A lot of
picked up
people
by
are
Reject,
pulling from like
Psyduck.
the
Psyduck was
frontline
actually one
heavy
that I put as my
team.
highest encounter rate that we've had.
Are we getting
this weekend.
Serena
But
because it
it's
wasn't banned?
still high. 77 is still high, but it's not 100%.
I want to see Serena, not
Well, for
not
sure.
not
People that
fair,
pick Blastoise
not
are
Water Bear.
grabbing
Give me
truly the
Serena.
bonus
I want to
from
see
the tree.
Serena.
Now,
Serena or
right now,
Mimikyu,
we do
that's
have
what
the
it seems
Surfetch
to
and
be.
Eldegoss. Eldegoss
Overlord's
has
playing
been incredible for a long time. And really
Charizard
seeing a
X,
big
let's
resurgence
go.
Here. I'm not a huge fan of Surfetch. I'm excited to be proven wrong here by Stamina Esports. Back the other way, though, we've got an Urshifu and Overlord grabbing the Mega Charizard X.
Yes. How do you feel about this Mega Charizard X? I'm very curious to see how it pans on out. I don't know, like in terms of, you know, ranking Pokemon and all that, whether I would put it up there, but I mean, that's the thing, it's Overlord. If they're the ones that end up playing it, I feel like in terms of just Reject in general, they're just so flexible with their picks. But this time around, we also have Satake on Urshifu. So are we going to see the Water Bear or the Dark Bear Urshifu this time around?
That's a great question. You know, I'm still focused on Overlord on this Mega Charizard X. There's a couple good targets that you want to snatch up with that Unite move, right? You can close the distance with that with the Fire Punch and then use the Unite move. Now, if I'm looking at any sus on this Scizor, it's presenting as Scizor. It's most likely going to be a Scyther if we know Latam at all. And that's a great target to kind of pre-engage, right? Put the Scizor on the back foot because the Scizor wants to be always taking initiative as we're taking a look at Thea Sky Ruins and Groudon map, baby.
Yes, Groudon is going to be that first map of the day that is locked on in. Otherwise, in the next set, they do get to choose this time round, don't they? Yes, whether they go that or either side, but Groudon is going to be locked on in
Let's
for that
go,
first
Groudon.
Yeah, for the first map, of course, we'll be rocking through Groudon, and as we get to our best of fives, we'll start seeing all three of our maps. And of course, when you are the loser in a game one, you get to pick the side or the map as we are underway.
Yes, we do have that view of them heading up into the top path to go and secure that Butterbeer. Is going to be Buzzwole and Psyduck on the side of Reject up against Gossifleur and Farfetch on the side of Stamina Esports.
Haruto obviously had the insane game on the base model Lucario with that power-up punch Bone Rush, so I'm excited what they can do with the big buzzy boy here. Pee-wee eyeing down 3. Any sus moving in with both buffs decides to peel away.
I guess that's the brilliance of having that Scyther up first. It does have quite a quick clear in comparison to that Urshifu. However, they have gone and finalized that. Looks like they are going to pivot towards that top path, while Stamina Esports, they're still trying to decide where to go, but it's now going to be that 3v1, as we can see on that minimap.
Any sus might put themselves in trouble, actually kind of feels it out and decides to pull downstairs. It's going to be a 4v2 there. Stamina Esports looking to put some pressure on. Pavone is able to evolve.
Stamina's really good. I'm just
Charmander as Eldegoss now. Kira rotating back up top. Mufasa dusted by Satake on the deep push, but here comes Anisas the other way, taking care of Haruto. Pee-wee and Satake trying to close the gap. Kira with the support. Nice little pollen puff, give him some HP. They're looking to scrap, and that's Latam through and through. As Kira makes it back to pad, Pee-wee goes down. Satake's getting chased. Anisas being relentless. Dual wing beat is there. Haruto with the cutoff.
Yeah, definitely some great quick reactions from Stamina Esports, even though they had the majority of them down in that bottom path to go and deal and protect that top path. But so far, earlier on, we don't have many dunks going on in. Stamina Esports still at that 0 point, so no attack weight stacks for them.
Okay. Stamina Esports with a good little exchange early. Nobody really putting a ton of points in. Reggie Draco nabbed by Anisas again.
Like, they're not putting points in, but they're taking a lot. They're getting a lot of
lobby right alongside Satake on that Urshifu.
Yes, we are going to rotate down into that bottom path. Overlord has engaged on that move, but they are just going to rotate backwards to safety.
They've all
considering they do
rotated
have
bot except for the Surf Fetch
a matter of waiting for this next engage.
Pee-wee's headache just went off before a big fight. Not great timing there. Gonna have to pop some Tylenol, try to get back in the mix.
I think Overlord's trying to get his level 7.
Anisas dual wing beat. Good damage on Satake, and Pee-wee triggers a headache again, and pushes everybody back.
Yes, I for that headache. Do not want to deal with that earlier on in the morning, but they are still left standing. Those objectives are about to spawn. No members go down just yet, but we are having a rotation from Reject. They're going to just leave this Regirock by Stamina, are going to shred it on down.
Yeah, Stamina going to take it for free here. Back into path is Overlord. Half HP with Pee-wee. On pad, Pavone has to try and run away. E-ball kind of cleansed there as Pavone gets back to pad. Now we've got a Charizard X online.
Yes, they are going to have that Unite move to come soon, which is something they're going to have to be wary of. Otherwise, Stamina Esports, instead of actually rotating up towards the top path, they've decided to leave that Reggie Alecki, which goes to the side of Reject. It's just a question of whether it's going to go in.
Big serve there into the Unite move. Anisas pops their Unite move back the other way. Looking a little Emerald out here, and they're working on the Reggie Alecki. So a good little KO, able to take care of the Reggie Alecki before it hits. And Stamina Esports is really putting the pressure on. Like we said, all gas, no brakes about that action. We'll see if they overextend here. Overlord tries to put the pressure on, has to peel back, even though the headache from the Psyduck goes off. It really just eliminates the fight.
No, I think that was a great call, especially considering they don't have that level 9, have that Unite move to go in with the chase. They just want to focus on hitting that level 9, which they have. And now this might be their chance to try and find an opening. But Stamina Esports,
there are 3 people level 9.
Here.
Sorciero or Minotaur, as we saw on our previous screen with this Blastoise, looking for position.
Urshifu hasn't hit level 10 yet,
pulled out
which
by the
is
Psychic.
unfortunate
Pee-wee
because
gets some
2 people
information
level
for this
10
quad.
on Stamina.
Just going to rotate on back, just scope whatever is in the area, but otherwise all those wild Pokemon have already been soaked on up. All Unite moves on hand, besides that Scyther as Urshifu has just ticked on over as well.
Oh, that Scyther is not going to be that far away if my memory serves correctly here. We'll see how they adjust to the objectives that are about to populate onto the map here. Great presence by Reject. Hitman just peppering them with solar beams.
Alright, we have that other objective spawning down in that bottom half this time around. It is going to be another Regirock, but Stamina Esports. Hitman is too far away. Anisas trying to find an opening, but Reject, they're going to be able to take that one uncontested.
Yeah, I mean, good body block there by the E-ball attempt by Pee-wee. Surf doesn't hit anyone, pulled out by Psychic, and there's the muzzle. Haruto to absolutely crack that shell in half. Now they're pushing the pad here. Hitman Enisus trying to get advantage. A good psychic draws out Enisus. They go for the dual wing beat on Pavone. It is enough. Satake steps up. Enisus steps up. Here's Kira. And now it's 3 on pad in the face of 4. Hitman, Minotaur, everybody's there. We're looking to fight. Pulled into the back line is Satake. Hydro Typhoon kicks up 3. This is an opportunity. There's the first KO, and now Stamina Esports can rally. They're looking for the push. Pavone taking a ton of damage, closing in on Pee-wee. They're right on top of Satake as well. Another deep surf, and we're popping the Buzzwell Unite. And now Stamina Esports.
Oh, it's going the other way. It's going back the other way.
These teams are about the action, Kello.
Just when you think the table has flipped on over, Stamina Esports have flipped it on back again and just going and defending their pads there. What an intense push there. But yeah, so far, once again, it's not much difference in terms of those points. 93 to 169. A minute and 30 seconds left until that final stretch at Reject. Looks like they're not giving up this bottom path just yet.
No, they kind of have an idea. Mufasa's up top. They haven't joined a fight at all. Surf in. Surf by Hitman as well, which is causing a lot of traffic. Headache by Psyduck, and now they all run away. Kira, Sorciero. I hate that they changed it. I can't stand that, Kello. You change it for the last tournament? You've been Minotaur for 3 years. What's going on here?
I feel like that's just a throwback to the previous seasons in terms of all these different names there. But, you know, that's Unite there in a nutshell. But back to the action anyway. We can see Reject not too worried about that. Reggie, as it is dealt with, but down here in the bottom path, once again, these 2 pads are still left standing as they fight out for these birds.
I mean, everything in the kitchen sink thrown at those Swablu and Altaria, no questions asked. I don't even know who got what, doesn't matter. Regirock's getting worked on. Reject is moving in. Regirock actually dragging towards Stamina. Good surf, doesn't hit anybody, but does space out, and a fire punch by Overlord secures at the last second.
Yeah, that is going to provide a great defense buff for Reject as we are 20 seconds away from that Groudon spawning on in. Both teams just going and taking their positions in that tall grass, making sure that they have vision for where to engage or disengage.
Maybe disengage is the key here. Multiple surfs between the Mew and the Blastoise. We'll see if that's what they use to create some of that space.
I'm surprised Hitman decided to use their Solar Beam towards Groudon instead of into the tall bush. That is going to go on cooldown. But Groudon is here. We can see a Buzzwole just spinning around, trying to taunt the opposite team, but neither of them are actually going to take the bait just yet.
Looking, I think they have an eye of where Blastoise is. Mufasa hasn't been in any of these fights, right? The Surfetched hasn't been a factor yet. We'll see if they're a factor now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like I haven't even mentioned Surfetched at all this game there. But once again, we do have Blastoise not actually going to use their Surf as an engage, more just as a warning sign. Enisus also going to put on even slide against the pool!
Huge psychic pull right into the Charizard Unite. They're getting burned down. Hydro Typhoon kicks up a couple. We're fighting on the backside here. First player down is the Scyther, and that's huge for Reject. They're looking to push. A combo is up to 17. Pee-wee getting the Blastoise. Now the water types are going crazy as Psyduck gets another one. You're worried about my headache, not the ones I'm causing you right now. Stamina Esports just an Eldegoss left standing, and they're running away with that pretty hat they got.
Let's go,
Taking
Reject.
control of Groudon.
Yeah, they just have to focus on staying up and whether they can actually defend as their members are going to come in with that respawn. 100 points goes into that bottom path by that Buzzwole. We can see Blastoise using that jump pad on the top, but they're unable to stop the other 100 from Urshifu. 293 to 169. Reject have the lead in this first game.
Now they can just cheekily hang out, play some soft defense, and go to score. Getting caught, though, can be dangerous because, as we know, that buff would switch sides, the Groudon buff. So they have to be careful here and not just kind of lose their cool. They just have to play cool, calm, and collected like we've seen them do against Dig earlier, and this is easy money.
Oh, look at that. The target onto Pee-wee, which means Overlord is able to go and get in another 100. Reject, even though they had a pretty comfortable lead,
it's over.
It's over. And buff up that scoreboard even more, knowing that Stamina Esports were not there to go and defend.
It's over.
Otherwise, wow. First game of the set. Reject now one up, one step closer towards securing their day 2 position.
I'll say this, Kello, that was the best final objective team fight from Reject today, right? That was the 4th one we've seen from them. That was the first time that Overlord wasn't caught immediately. The fact that they're still winning games when that happens is let alone impressive. But now it finally seems like they've got their heads on straight because that was a good front-to-back team fight.
Yeah, I think in terms of just that team fight, right? Nobody really wanted to go in with the engage. We saw that Blastoise, rather than using that surf aggressively, they decided to use it more towards the other direction. But my Flowers have got to go to Peewee onto that Psyduck to be able to go and get that psychic pull on the...
That was a great pull.
Yeah, which is beautiful. That's who you want to pick in that back line. Get rid of them ASAP. Like, that was just... chef's kiss from them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the target priority was crazy, right? They knew any sus was going to be a problem. The psychic pull, forcing out the Unite move from the Scyther, which right when that moment happens, just a window of opportunity for Overlord to hit their Unite move and drag the Scyther to the skies and suplex it back down to earth. Haruto getting the nod here as our player of the game on the Buzzwole, and maybe this is maybe their stats are getting a little mentally boosted by us here for that insane Lucario game 3 as well, because that thing was crazy. I could talk about that all day long. Smackdown superpower, of course, the moves used here by this
Buzzwole game.
Yes, I think even then, just looking at in terms of these stats,
They played it really well, especially because they were playing around Overlord. I'm pretty sure.
Game, but looking at
they had
knockouts,
the Blissey on
low
Overlord
numbers.
pretty much the entire game.
Between these two squads, they played a lot more passively than I was expecting.
Yeah, it was almost like it was aggression, but not to finish, right? They were like just chucking all their moves at each other, and then they'd like scamper away and rinse and repeat. Something that's sticking out to me:
the game of chicken.
The game of chicken.
The game of chicken.
And the circle has been completed. You want to talk about a chicken? I don't know what kind of animal that Surfetched is, but that stat line is terrible, and I don't like this Pokemon. It didn't look good when Reject was playing it earlier. It didn't look good right now. It got to farm all game by itself, Kello. When it finally joins the fight, it did nothing. Please, let's just do something. Let's do something else.
Just can it.
When were we talking? Why aren't we talking about this with the Palkia that the dark?
There's literally 1,000 of them.
Yeah, so maybe we steer
This
away
was a
from the
low
Surfetched.
damage
At
game.
least come into play there.
Actually, I think the
As I said,
Psyduck did the
numbers,
most. Yeah.
once again, just demonstrating
Psyduck
that
did the most
there
damage.
were brawls, but they weren't like
35,
full-out
39,
brawls that we
24. Yeah,
usually expect.
Psyduck did the most
coming out
damage.
from the Latam
It's
team.
funny.
So I don't know whether this is more of a, you know, I think we're with Stamina, maybe just playing it cautious, knowing, I guess, Reject and their position currently. I mean,
they're one of the strongest teams in Japan. So I wonder whether we're going to end up having a different look, whether that was their strategy or whether it was just based on their picks. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised because normally the way I feel Stamina plays is, you know, any sus goes in, the team just collapses and follows, and then that's where we're at. That's just what we're doing. But right now it seemed like it would be like any sus goes in, we might get a KO, and then we all just kind of scamper away, which is a little bit different of a texture from Stamina than I'm certainly used to seeing.
Yeah, different texture indeed. So, you know, thing is, yeah, there is one more game here that they can do to try and make a run back. We have already seen Game 3 coming out from Reject. Will we end up getting another Game 3 from this set is the question. But I feel like Stamina, they need to dig in deep during this draft.
and I feel like they do need to make some adjustments. Scyther, though, I feel like that can stay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a gutter pick, right? They saw what was across the way, and they said, this can be pretty reasonable for us. Again, I don't... The Surfetch is the first thing that obviously sticks out to me, and maybe what I would switch up. I think Minotaur's Blastoise was serviceable. The Mew was serviceable. I mean, there's no real other holes I think you can really punch in the strategy besides, like, if the Surfetch is going to spend all game away from your team, not contributing to these team fights or objectives, and then it shows up to the big objective of the game and, you know, goes off like a wet
doesn't
fart,
do
like, what are you
anything.
doing here? Like,
I mean, Surfetch is fine. I think it's good. I just don't think it's good
Don't want those ones.
in these kind of situations. I think it's a good solo slot.
Let's get
I don't
the
think it's a
Surfetch
good
out of here.
anything
Let's go
else.
in another different direction. We did mention there's a trillion all-rounders in the game. What's some all-rounders that maybe you would prefer to see out there? I can think of a couple.
Yeah, as I said, I feel like we have the most all-rounders in comparison to all
I want to see more
out of
Suicune.
5 roles that we have.
Right.
So there's definitely so many options there, even if they're
I
not
want to see some
away. It's
Tinkaton.
just a matter of
I really like the healing,
pick.
like the
take your pick. I don't know. Draw it out of the
sustained
hat.
Tinkaton that Ender
Give me
did a
Mega
couple
Lucario.
like on
You know what I mean?
stream
And
like
now,
last week
give me
where
base Mega
I've been
Lucario.
playing it. It's
I don't
been
know if you can
so
power
fun
punch
because
Bone
the
Rush
healing on
Lucario
it is
in ya,
amazing.
but maybe you bring that. I don't. Was Zacian banned? I don't even think it was banned. It was banned.
Yes, Zasha. Yes. Now you're making me question my memory. Yes.
I mean, clearly mine isn't
Oh,
working. But there's a bazillion other all-rounders, right? Like
Yeah.
like Garchomp looked
Yeah,
insane
I do
when
want
we
to
were
see new mods.
watching Rune play.
Dark Peach used Palkia
do
earlier
something
and it
else.
looked really bad.
Do something else. All right.
Surfetch
Reject, on the
is
other
used
hand,
by
not much
Reject,
to
it
change.
wasn't that
The
great. They won
Mega
against
X did its job,
Reject, so
which was
wait,
isolate
Poke,
any
what were
subs
your
they needed to, which I thought was great execution there.
what were your
Talk to me a little bit about
top 3
Reject's draft.
picks
Is there
for
anything you think they might
for
switch up
Worlds?
to get a little bit more value, or you're thinking maybe stick with the same?
I mean, it's Rage.
off of ACL, right?
Risky in terms of
Like
those
who
range
won
Pokemon,
ACL
they're
because
going
all
to
pretty much all the
be
best teams
a lot
were
more
there.
squishier. So maybe trying to take away
Like that's why I have Reject will always be number 1 for me because like Overlord's on that team and he's like super good. He's been good for the last 5 years.
No, that's a really great call. You know, if you don't give
and then,
a prime target for the Scyther to go get, well then it has to.
And then I think Fennel did really. I think Fennel won ACL, and then Rutig got was like won LAIC, won NAIC, and then did they win NAIC? I don't remember, but they won some. They've been really good in the West. So I was like, they're probably gonna do really well. I forgot Reject and Rutig were in the same group, and I forgot Stamina was also in their group. This is like the craziest group. Like Group 8 is probably one of the craziest groups out there.
I feel like that's what they're most well known for. Like this just seems like a different look for them. So, you know, maybe if they just throw the kitchen sink at them, maybe that's just the strategy that they
Throw the
not
kitchen sink at them. No,
within the draft, but
that's
we're gonna
dangerous.
head into our second draft anyway. We can see Comfey once again.
Comfey being banned.
Yeah, I mean, Comfey has
It's
been banned
really
against
funny.
Reject every single game so far that we've seen them on our main stage here today. Second band is.
I think it's
be
because they're scared of Overlord. They're scared of the Overlord.
That's a great ban. Blissey by Reject, maybe the other
They're
one.
scared of the Overlord
Well, I mean, I
Comfey,
guess with
but
this
like no one's
one
gonna
being
beat
banned
Elo,
on
so
out,
like
whether we are going to see that new pick once again.
I don't think there will
Maybe,
ever
but
be a
then
support
Stamina
like him.
Esports, they are the ones
Even though
that
he
are in
didn't
that
like
first pick
playing,
position, but
even though he
I
didn't
know
like
Blissey,
playing
in terms of this ban, I don't know whether
Pokemon
it was
Unite, he was still really
necessary,
good at
if
it.
that makes sense. Like it wasn't all that impactful.
So.
Yes, it does have a great Unite move, but I feel like potentially something else could have probably fit in here. I mean, you could even go in with a targeted ban really on a Scyther rather than a Blissey. But hey, Reject, you know, they're the pros. They know what they're doing. I'm not going to underestimate them.
Kello. We have a Feraligatr out of jail right now. And there it is, Mufasa grabbing the Feraligatr. Okay. That's a Pokemon you can use that isn't Surfetched.
There's no way Overlord's gonna click on Surfetch.
Counter rate at 96%. Blastoise somehow at
That would have been really funny if he did that.
3% on the duck and the
I feel like that's something Overlord would do.
Definitely looking good there. We'll have to wait and see what they end up around on out. especially considering Stamina Esports don't have access to this Blastoise. But one thing they do have access to is this Snorlax now that it isn't banned on out. And they have also decided to pick up that Mew away from Reject.
Yeah, I think that's just a great choice overall. I mean, the amount of tools in a Mew's toolkit can never be understated, right? It does
has
a little
the
bit
most
of
tools.
The most,
The
actually.
most
You're
tools,
correct.
yeah, in this game, yeah.
Pavone.
Six.
That's so many tools. That sounds right. Pavone on the Eldegoss Overlord grabbing the Buzzwole, which did do some very
Let's
good
go.
work in that first game.
Yes,
Buzzwole on
it did,
Overlord.
going to, it
Wonder if
looks
he's gonna
like once again,
swap that
they're
with someone.
sticking with more that front-on combat, whether they're going to
Is he
actually
Veltol free?
round it off with some range to spice it
I guess
on
it's a
up.
more
We'll
solo
have to wait
Q
and see
mod
as
though.
Sataka is going to hover over that Glaceon, but one thing as well, yeah, there we go. The Glaceon.
Interesting.
So is this going to be
What is Reject doing?
too much of a risk to play
I don't
against
understand.
Scyther on the Anysus? Or do you think that I feel like Glaceon is actually a pretty good pick here though?
I like Glaceon.
Glaceon will be able to do a lot of damage on a lot of these tanky mods.
They do very unique things. Glaceon specifically, if it can only get picked 4% of the
Let me see
time,
Skeledirge,
but in a great position where it can
alt
really
abuse.
show out, Glaceon is in a healthy
I
spot.
think
What you
Skeledirge
never
is
wanna see
better
Glaceon getting picked first,
in
'cause that means we're in a
solo
real
queue
bad
than
spot.
it is
So I'm loving
in
this. Satake on the Glaceon
in
is something I'm excited to
competitive.
watch here.
One thing I am liking as well from the side of Stamina Esports is they've decided to go in with this Clefable pick. Now, Clefable I feel like is one of the worst nightmares for a Buzzwole. But the thing is, we also have Overlord on the Buzzwole. So, I don't know whether, considering their knowledge and expertise, it's just whether we are going to see that gravity come into play here. It's really going to come down to that timing of those moves.
Absolutely. You know, there's one thing that these players at this level are incredibly used to, and that's navigating the Clefable gravity timer and avoid getting caught, which is why a lot of times, despite you think gravity would be strong, we see some of our top players still using the follow me.
Yes.
Because that has a more immediate, more controllable impact.
All right, well, here we are, folks, going into game number 2 for Group H. Stamina Esports.
Also,
over on
the
purple
replay
side,
shots on these are
Reject
so
on the
funny.
orange with
It
that
feels like
one
mid-offs
up. If they
again.
win this one, they're making their way through to day number 2 of the Pokemon World Championships.
And that's exactly what they want, as Mufasa getting 2 quick stacks in, pushed by Haruto here. Nice little light screen by Hitman, as it can be enough. Coaching into the bush. Haruto closes the gate with a Skull Bash, and of course gets the K opener for Reject. Make it 2.
Yeah, now this is definitely some early aggression, a very different look from both teams that we saw previously, but we do have Stamina Esports at least picking up a KO of their own. No evolutions just yet up in the top path for Reject.
Mufasa able to pick up a couple AOS energy, might go try and stack here as Anysus is hanging out up top. Kira moving around, getting vision. Here comes Satake.
Yes,
Oh, they're not going.
Is that an icy wind?
They're going
I
icy
think
wind.
Having that maneuverability
Interesting.
is a great call. That
Because they need the dash against the other.
3v1, which means Snorlax is not able to stop this AOS energy being dunked.
No, it's just going to have to tackle its way through as the headache pushes it back for just a mere moment. Overlord still working on getting some stacks here and is able to out-secure the Snorlax. Wow, get another stack in.
Yeah, and that's so important for Overlord. Get that Buzzwole nice and strong, stacked on up early game when you have limited AOS energy. That way, they're just able to go
Overlord's doing good.
mid-game. But
Why are we focused on him? We should be focused on what's happening top half.
as folks are just
Never
looking
mind.
for whatever wild Pokemon is available to them.
Look at that combo from Overlord, getting 2 wild Pokemon down, picking one up, punching it into the other one, getting credit for 2. BOGO deal. Now we're on the Regidrago. Reject wants that one as they have a good presence here.
Yeah, we do have a Reject coming on in, interrupting Anysus. Is going to focus on that Regidrago, looking to get the secure. It ends up being Kira on
Kira
that
gets
Clefable,
it.
but that is
Nice.
still going to go to the side of Stamina Esports. It's just a matter of whether they're going to actually do anything with it, as Reject is deciding to pivot towards the top.
Here comes that.
This is so much. It does so much damage.
Pick and choose where it's going to sink its teeth. Pavone is getting chased. Enisus collapses, can't quite get the knockout. Pivoting over to Overlord, who's fighting Mufasa, and is able to get the knockout. Sorciero on top of the War Turtle. Haruto gonna have to peel back for just a moment.
Whether it's a Lucario or a War Turtle, just the maneuverability from Haruto is insane to avoid getting knocked out with a sliver of HP. Those first objectives are about to spawn on the field.
They didn't even, Stamina didn't even KO any of them. They all got out.
There are some buffs, but
The Blastoise still got the got his focus band pop, but that's fine.
Went a bit too early. Enisus secures. Reject forced to peel back as there's 4 players from Stamina here, and look at now that Mufasa has the Feraligatr online.
Nothing better than watching Feraligatr player get destroyed.
Yes, they have that
That's fun.
waterfall
It's so
running
cringe.
on up
It's
into the top grass, not able to
I know they're
lead
playing
anybody
competitively,
just
but
yet.
like,
One
come
thing
on.
as well, they have 2 Unite moves available to them in comparison to, well, actually no, Psyduck has just picked up their Unite move as well.
Psyduck Unite move is incredibly strong. You know, it really puts everybody in a blender, lowers the damage that they're going to be dealing here. We have a block Snorlax just trying to get away with
I didn't
that
know we were
shield,
doing
but
spin
Reject now taking control around the Regieleki.
That's interesting.
Just getting poked and prodded at as we are going to have a bush check from Snorlax, but Stamina Esports, seeing that there's too many members there, they're actually going to go in for a rotation here towards this section. Once again, just these teams trying to find that vision, which is key for a match of Pokemon Unite.
Peewee, huge surf off the headache, is going to be able to escape Enisus, maybe. Peewee scrambling away. Regieleki getting low. Hydro Typhoon from
that's close.
secured by Hitman. Good
Reject hasn't secured any objectives.
Of course, we got a spin pump Blastoise. Why not? Heavy slam again. And the Feraligatr tries to close the gap with the waterfall and does crunch him down with the help of Hitman.
Oh, and look at this with that Regieleki crashing on in. That is going to be a 32 overdunk. And because there are no jump pads here, Stamina Esports are going to continue pushing on 4 and are close to... There we go. T2 is gone.
T2 is gone, and that's where they want to be. Mufasa loving it. Welcome back to the game, my friend. They've come alive. The counter scores from Reject are there, not quite enough, as look at all of Stamina showing up for this fight, and they're going to start chomping them down, and a duck to a gator is an easy dinner.
And this is why Feraligatr has been banned so much here today, because just that waterfall to go and stop
it does so much damage.
To catch out Overlord, getting pushed on back. They're forced to use their Unite move.
E-Ball chases him down. Overlord not enough in the tank with the Buzzwole, and here comes Stamina Esports. They figured out that they need to play with no fear. They're not showing any now. Secured by the Icy Wind Glaceon.
Oh, let's go. Finally, they secured something. Oh, he's out. He's down. He's down. Oh, it's over.
Now Kira's getting bullied by their support counterpart here in the Psyduck, and all of Reject just kind of peels away.
Well, I mean, they don't really have any other choice but to peel away with 2 members down. They want to make sure to save those resources come the next fights. Enisus, caught in a bit of a pickle, is looking to try and steer away, but Peewee there ends up getting solo united.
Yeah, I think that's just a use it or lose it type moment. Like, get yourself an extra knockout there, Enisus. Knockout Peewee, fine, whatever. Goal zone's gone, score lead gone, Stamina up by 4, and that's not a lot here in the game of Unite. Hydro Typhoon, eject button, it's 4. Overlord decides to go in. They're targeting down Enisus. They go for another slam, but it's not enough. The presence of Stamina is completely destructive.
Oh, but there we go.
I think that was just a interesting call from Overlord to go in without anyone there.
Stamina Esports have decided to give this one up, considering they have a lot of wild Pokemon on their side. They want to focus on this experience instead.
No, that's a great call. You know, let the Regieleki walk, take care of it when it gets close, make sure that you take all your free experience, because you know you have a fight on the horizon here at our middle objective.
Yeah, that's only
Reject is doing something.
Until that final objective.
I don't know. They let Feraligatr get picked. They're doing what Luminosity does, which is they let the strong pick get banned and then they fully counter it, and then it makes people think, oh, maybe it's not that good.
I don't think they quite
Stupid.
have the vision yet, but if they didn't then, they do now. The duck surfing through. The information is there. How are we going to take this fight?
But there's really hard to catch.
Until our objective.
Yeah, well, we do have Overlord scoping on in, has been found out by that Snorlax, who's going to rotate back, but that is a huge beam from Hitman.
That was well set up, right? Bait them in, Solar Beam coverage. Another big Solar Beam for 4 targets. Registeel is getting pinged. Light screen down. Sorciero in the middle. Heavy Slam spinning to win to create separation. Now Registeel is going to go to reject. Great.
I mean, they're pulling it off later and later on. They're finally.
Especially landing themselves that attack buff. As we approach this final stretch, Stamina Esports, they do have the lead, but it's only by 4 points.
Enisus is hitting to try and get a buff here. Spinning to win again. Pump in the middle. Good Solar Beam. Enisus going with a big flank here. We'll see if they can go undetected.
Yeah, I don't know whether any of Reject actually managed to see that as we have Stamina Esports pivoting towards the top side. There goes the Blastoise, looking to try and create a separation, but there's another beam.
Another Heavy Slam block, Solar Beam coverage. Enisus sees Overlord. They're getting too close. They're going to go for them. Overlord is isolated. Here comes a Feraligatr. Picked up and slam. We're going to the crunch, but no, they're getting smothered now.
Oh my gosh, that was a great pull from Overlord.
In the middle of nowhere, Hydro Typhoon on Kira. The duck is popping their headache. They're trying to find the next target. Enisus has not gone down. I think they're resetting. Sorcio, aka Minotaur on the backside. They need to find the fight. Kira is in no man's land. Getting to the mist.
Kira needs to do.
Looking for the target. They're not going to stop Pee-wee on the reset. Hitman with no HP. The coverage by the Snorlax. Really, Stamina needs to take a second.
Overlord's in. Oh no, Overlord's gonna die.
Too much damage there. The Feraligatr takes over. Huge Solar Beam. Stamina wants to fight. They're relentless.
But the benefit is Stamina Esports that have that Clefable to provide that team-wide healing. They're now going in for the Groudon, but not if Reject have anything to say with it. It's going to be a flip.
Groudon is on a razor's edge. Who's going to secure?
Yes. Let's go, Overlord. Let's go, Reject.
The gutter pick from the Japanese squad. Reject steps up and
let's go.
The notion that Stamina Esports deserves this win.
W.
Scramble for those burgers.
Yeah, especially considering there's 4 members of Stamina Esports down. There's no one to go and stop these Dark.
They're just gonna go score.
And letting Reject take the lead.
Hundo burgers from the Blastoise right into the middle. Reject eating an early lunch and eating it well. Stamina Esports, good presence.
Oh my god, he's just one-shotting them.
Yes, they are humming.
What a great Glaceon pick.
Worthy of victory as they have now just secured themselves that day 2 spot. The first
Let's
team
go.
into day number 2.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And against an absolute buzzsaw of a group too. You know, Stamina got 2-0'd there, but that is a Stamina showing signs of life. Those fights
I can't wait to see the Stamina Dig games. Oh man, if Dig loses.
If Root Dig can't bounce back. So our match later today is going to be one of the most important ones.
That's going to be a crazy game because Reject is confirmed for day 2.
Much better look from Stamina. They came in with that aggression and it was working out well for them for the majority of the part. But the thing is, it was still a close match either way, and Reject.
Yeah, Reject is
the fact that Satake is threading the needle with all these different targets and the Icy Wind.
I thought once Overlord went down, it might have been over, but no, I guess not.
As we are watching a very long protracted fight between these two teams.
Yes.
It was really well done.
Until after that minute mark when they actually went in with the engage. Stamina Esports quite low, but here I think is where it went somewhat in benefit of Reject. I believe it was maybe it's a little bit further, but Mufasa on the Feraligatr, they actually went in with their waterfall, but they didn't get the hit. And they ended up getting caught on out. But nonetheless, that was their move to go on in with a Groudon. And thanks for the slow-mo. As we can see, Satake gets knocked up into the air by the Snorlax, but lands just in time to go and pop that Icy Wind secure.
Poor Sorciero, aka Minotaur. Great Heavy Slam on the right target. That's who they wanted to bubble out. It was just a bit too early because the Glaceon went with that, I believe, Freeze Dry in first and then was knocked up. And because it was knocked up, it actually put it just in time to hit the Icy Wind because otherwise it probably would have been too early as Haruto, player of the game.
Yes, with that $5 knockouts, 1 feint, and 8
That was
hits. I think
crazy.
considering they are the defender player, only getting
Wonder,
knocked
great,
out once
great showing
just
by
really
Reject.
goes to show how well this Hydro Pump Rapid Spin combination really worked out for them. I feel like just having that hindrance resistance.
They were really good
to the
zoning.
Silent Stamina Esports really worked out well. And they actually dished out a lot of damage as well. 73k?
Yeah, I mean, Haruto was playing a wolf in sheep's clothing, right?
Oh.
I mean, the Blastoise is a defender, but it was in your face, right? Especially with the spin pump combination. Hydro Pump off a rapid spin has some really good secure potential as well, good burst damage, and you know, Pee-wee, that poor Psyduck, was really the one that was going to have to step up and get knocked out on behalf of the team.
One thing I want to point out though, Satake on that Glaceon didn't feint a single time,
great.
and I think considering, you know, we were questioning.
He didn't give
whether
any
a race path would be
XP
too
over to the
risky
other
going
team.
into a Scyther, being a
They played really
optimal
well.
target. But Satake, I think this Glaceon pick was such a great one with that maneuverability of that icy wind.
Because they could move around a lot, they were able to stay away from the Scyther.
Well, look, we've showed that you know,
Because EVs are broken and they have the most
Feraligatr isn't
one of the most
NWL,
broken
right? I will
passives
say, the
in the
Feraligatr
game.
felt like it was having some good moments, but you look at that stat line, I mean, 2 knockouts, I think it was knocked out 5 times, 6 times. You just wrote down 20k and circled it. Tell me about that.
I just thought it would be a bit more impactful is all. I know we've been seeing it bans on out, but maybe, you know, it was impactful, but wasn't doing some big damage. But, you know, that is enough from us. I feel like we head over to the stage and go in with an interview.
Let's do it.
Interview time.
Thank you so much to our wonderful casters. Welcome to the main stage, everybody, for our main stage winners interview. Round of applause for Reject.
I don't know why YouTube's being stupid and not connecting to my restream, but that's fine.
Pee-wee, congratulations on your victory. You look incredibly strong
Oh well.
this year. How does it feel to be playing so well today?
なんか今年はすごい強そうな感じで今の調子はどうですか？
そうですね、まあ今の状況が結構去年と同じような状況で Day1 を終えられたので、ただ去年は
We're not getting Overlord for everything?
戦で負けてしまったので、同じような
That's interesting.
同じような状況なので、
They really like to put him out in the front.
We actually feel a lot similar to last year, but last year unfortunately we lost on day 2, so we're hoping to clinch it this time.
They have Overlord now.
Speaking of Worlds this year,
They have a great team this year.
Today, but I want to ask you a bit more about the Pokemon and play style at Worlds this year. How would you say this year is different to last year's meta?
今年のゲーム環境が去年と比べてだいぶ変わっていますが、どのように変わったかとか、なんか強いポケモンが変わったか、なんか語ってください。
難しいな。
That's a tough one.
そうですね。まあ僕らは結構まあみんなからはそう思われてるかもしれないですけど、結構タンクというかディフェンダーのポケモンはあまり使わないチーム
Translators
で、
do such a good
まあ
job.
そういうなんていうんだろう、こう外れたメタから外れたチームであるので、そうですね。まあその正解答え合わせというかに近い感じがしますね。
So yeah, we're a little unique in that we don't focus on tanks and defenders. So you could say we're kind of playing
No,
off meta
this is
in that
what
way.
Luminosity
So maybe
does.
it's to our advantage.
This is what Luminosity does.
They have your own play style.
Like,
Speaking
this
of,
is what
I
they
do
did
wanna
as
ask
Blackhand.
you, are there any Pokemon that
This
you
isn't
feel
that unique. I'm gonna be honest.
underrated at Worlds that maybe teams are not really considering?
この大会のポケモンの中でなんかあんまり知られてないんだけど強いポケモン、実際強いポケモンは何か。
ジュラルドンですかね。
Probably Duraludon.
So why Duraludon in particular? Because I think it's a lot of people have wanted to see Duraludon be played, but what is holding this Pokemon back from performing?
やっぱりファンの中でもうめっちゃジュラルドンの見たい方が多いみたいで、なんであんまり人気ない今まで？
まあシンプルに使ってる人が少ないっていうのと、まあそれがでかいですかね。やっぱ印象というか最初の先入観みたいなところは大きいと思います。実際使ってみるともう11レベルからかなり強いポケモンなんで、 もしかしたらこの大会でも見れるかもしれないです。
So it may be that when it first came out, it wasn't really well understood, but if you actually pick it up and play with it, it proves to be quite strong, and maybe we'll see that at this tournament.
Fingers crossed that we do end up seeing Duraludon, folks, because that is a very
Duraludon
underrated
is
Pokemon.
good.
Let's flip the script and talk about Pokemon that you might think are being a little overestimated. They're very good.
Feraligatr?
But they may be not as good as people think that they are.
逆によく使われているポケモン
He's gonna say Feraligatr,
そ
isn't
んな
he?
に強くないと思うのはなんかそういうポケモンも
Palkia
いますか
probably.
まあ個人的にはミュウが
Oh, Mew?
限られたプレイヤーしかミュウはうまく使えてないと思うので、自分も含めてなんですけど、そうですね、ちょっと課題評価かなって感じ
Mew's
がします。
good.
He feels that Mew, you sort of have to specialize in Mew, and
That makes sense.
he himself isn't so confident in it, so that's the one he would pick.
Okay, Pee-wee, thank you so much for all of your insightful knowledge on Pokemon Unite. I do have one final request. Is there anything you would like to say to your fans and any of your supporters at home?
やっぱりファンへのメッセージとか、なんか支援してきた方へのメッセージはありますか？
そうですね、本当にさっきも、去年と同じ状況と言ったんですけど、まあ今年こそ優勝します。
Like I mentioned earlier about how good we're feeling, and we're aiming for the championship.
Okay, thank you so much, Pee-wee, for the interview. Hopefully, we might be seeing you up again here. But folks,
Wait,
thank
I
you
need
for
to-
the stage interview.
I don't have an
Another round
outfit.
of applause for Rejects as we get ready for our next matchup. Back to our casters.
My item
Thank
box.
you so much, Danalee, there. It was great to hear from Pee-wee there and just his expertise. He has just been in the scene for so long as well. So really
Do I not
just
have an
letting that
outfit?
delve deep. I'm surprised that he actually selected Mew,
Yeah.
though, as the one that was somewhat overrated. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe it's more of like overrated in his hands.
Yeah, okay.
Because as you said, he wasn't super confident. I was pretty surprised by the answer of we kind of play off meta because we don't really focus on defenders, aka tanks, and the player of the game on that second game was a tank, so he was a defender.
But we did mention it. Was it really a defender, though?
It's
Blastoise.
Blastoise.
It didn't
It's
really
Blastoise.
play like a
It's
defender.
It's considered a defender.
Just ban Blastoise.
Ban Blast?
Hydro Typhoon is crazy, Surf is crazy, Hydro Pump is crazy, and now we just saw Spin Pump just run roughshod through another really skilled team. Just put it in the bin. Like, ban that thing.
I feel like we're chucking a lot of Pokemon in the bin here today.
Listen, Surfetch doesn't need to be...
Fill it up for trash?
Listen,
Oh, wow.
listen. Surfetch doesn't need to be banned or picked. It just needs to just
Disappear?
be over here somewhere.
On the
Blastoise,
sidelines, being the cheerleader.
with that big green onion flopping around. Okay, this is pure chaos here. We've got more Pokemon Unite action at the Pokemon World Championships here in San Francisco. Kello, Doob Snacks, we're out. Go to break. Bang.
No. This works. Hmm. What? Really? You can't wear that with gloves? That's stupid. Well, that's my fit. You guys are gonna get to see some Sylveon gameplay while I wait. 3 minutes. This is actually a decent team, especially since I'm playing Tank Sylveon. I'm the all-rounder. Evil Geniuses versus Zipto? I think Evil Geniuses will win this. I don't know if I'm gonna gamble on them, but what's this guy doing? This guy's tweaking out for some reason. Nice, let's go. Nice. Time to go take their jungle. Because I have a feeling they're not gonna go back and take it. Maybe? May not.
To the Pokemon World Championship 2026. Pokemon Unite continues here. It's final day one that we'll ever have at Worlds. A little bit sad, but amazing matches so far. And of course, now we get to shift up the casters a little bit even more as, of course, I'm Wonder Chef joining Tanalee.
Yeah.
Glad to, I actually don't think we've ever cast together in person. Have we? Did we cast together in Worlds?
No! I just wanted.
I don't think we did. I think last Worlds it was just on. We did Electro Volleyball together, which is really the only thing that matters in Pokemon Unite, right?
They lost it?
This is
What are we doing, guys?
small stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it counts. Okay, electro volleyball counts. I refuse to say that does not count.
Hey,
but look, we've got an amazing game together, right? So we have a really interesting situation for this upcoming match because we took a look at the bracket before we jumped into this game.
And Evil Geniuses are in a bit of a pickle, Chef. Do you kind of want to explain what's happened here with EG? Why is this game suddenly so important?
Yes, of course. So for anybody who's not aware, Evil Geniuses, obviously a very well-known name in teams as far as esports, and they've been doing really well in the North American region. They've got some amazing players on it, some players that have never made it to Worlds, so it's an interesting little mix, but they've been doing well this
There we go.
season.
Someone can overtap a lot.
Lost, so it's a little bit of an upset. They lost to, I think their name is Looking for Org, right? It's something along those lines, but it was a team from LATAM that qualified, I believe, through the Last Chance qualifier. So I'm not as familiar with them, and hey, you know, maybe they deserve an org after this. But really great to see. Obviously, the other regions doing really well, but North America has had a tough time.
They lost top too. Oh my god, what are we doing, guys?
They really need to win, but they're going up against some monsters.
Yeah, so it's EG versus Zipto, and essentially, unfortunately, there's no one else in this group. So for EG to even survive here, they have to win this set. They cannot afford to drop this game. If they drop this series, that is it. EG is out, and I think we're going to have some pretty devastated spectators back home, and also spectators live here at the event. So yeah, really, the pressure's here on EG to really perform what they want to keep their tournament dream alive.
I mean, already the pressure being on them is really intense. And like I mentioned, you can see over there, they're the team that's going to be on the purple side. And they, well, at least on the purple side of the stage, not necessarily in game. But you can see some really well-known names like Kyrios, for example, who has been on the world stage many times. But also some newer players like Zealots, for example, who is...
Let's go.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. I'm seeing a lot of... there's a lot of names for me to remember today.
Sorry, guys.
Not Zealots. Ducky.
We're going
Zealot
small screen
a bunch of times, so I just
in the corner.
For example, Ducky and Chris Smith. Those are really going to be the two mains to look at. They don't have as much experience on this world stage. Wow, they're jumping right into it.
Yeah. So just a quick recap for anyone that is confused as to who Zipto Esports is. It's Zoro Tigers Gaming. Sounds familiar to you at all? That is Zoro Tigers Gaming. They were just picked up by Zipto coming into Worlds. So yes, if you're a Zoro Tigers gaming fan at home, then you know who to root for. But this is going to be an incredible series. We actually had a small discussion backstage with some of the other casters, right? And Zipto, Korean Pokemon Unite, is legit. This is not a region to just bat an eye at. They are incredibly strong, and I guess the benefit here for Zipto too is that being in Asia, they have easy access to being able to scrim with the Japanese team. So they have a lot of experience under their belt playing up against the Japanese teams. So I guess my question here is, can Evil Geniuses keep up with Zipto? Because they generally love to play in your face.
Right, I mean, Zoro Tigers Gaming doing extremely well. I believe they actually flew over to Japan to play a show match with some Japanese teams. Some point after, maybe not the previous world, but the one before.
This guy can't do anything.
Just because they had such good matches. So, yeah, like you said, lots of experience against Japanese teams. I'm sure they play against each other online, scrim quite a lot. I wish there was more time, but the draft is moving so fast because there's so much to talk about these teams. Okay, so looking at this, Umbreon has been banned so much throughout the day. That's a really common pick, I think, to see first if it does go unbanned. But I'm surprised that we're seeing the Surfetch so high.
I kind of feel like if you're picking the Surfetch now, you're kind of hiding something for those last two picks, right? Either you're going to go for those reaction picks to react to whatever Zipto is playing, or you have something else that needs to have that space, that moment to breathe. And it looks like we're going to be seeing our next two picks here for Zipto. So far, it's Mimikyu, Psyduck, Mamoswine, and that Miraidon. Very solid lineup here for Zipto. They've got their front line, they have their attacker, they have their backline assassin with that Mimikyu, and of course they've got that Psyduck there to keep Piachu protected. Now for Evil Geniuses, what's the plan here? Because they have a really strong lineup so far, and also they do round out with their final two choices here, so either Sizzle or Scyther, and the Espeon.
Right, yeah, I mean, Espeon has been really highly contested throughout the day so far, and throughout the past few events that we've seen. So I'm surprised to see it get picked pretty late altogether. Now, normal Lucario, normally I feel like that is such a bizarre choice, especially right now. I feel like a lot of people are really feeling like Mega Lucario is doing quite well, but we already saw normal Lucario do really well earlier today from Reject. So I truly don't know what's going on, and that's one of the beauty of Worlds, is that even if we've watched so much competitive, it's so hard to see competitive from every single team and every single region and how they're going to bring it and change it for Worlds. So the meta, it's ours to learn as well as everybody else's.
Yeah, so I think now that we've seen the entire lineup, we have a bit of a better picture on how these two teams want to kind of play their lineups, right? So for Evil Geniuses, I think if anything, we've got to keep our eyes on Roland
it down on that Blissey, because whoever Roland is enabling, I think that's going to be the key Pokemon to really lead Evil Geniuses in these team fights. Yes, Zipto has a lot of team fight control on their side as well, but if you think about it, they don't
Umbreon was
have
loud.
that much AoE. A lot of it is that single target damage where they go in, pick off the target, they back up and they reset. But they don't necessarily have true healing on their lineup. So maybe this is where Evil Geniuses can take advantage of Zipto and say, if a fight takes too long, we have the sustain with Roland on the Blissey. I don't think we're going to be seeing Wish on Ducky, maybe, who knows? But yeah, I kind of feel like maybe it could be a battle of stamina here. Just try to outlast Zipto, force Zipto to make their move, otherwise they're just going to lose out in that battle of stamina.
And there's definitely going to be a point.
No, stamina was in
final
each.
fight where if it lasts long enough, and then we get to a point where they can just kind of use a Bliss assistance when they really want to, it's probably going to be quite strong, exactly like you said. But here we go, game one. Evil Geniuses.
Why'd that guy go back in? That was stupid.
Zipto Esports, our first look at Korea, and we are already starting off with a very low Lucario.
Yeah, very low Lucario. I'm actually surprised how aggressive Evil Geniuses are playing, but I guess that's where desperation comes in for the team. You know, you've got to try and put your own fate in your own hands. So we'll keep an eye out on this top matchup for now. Really, I think the goal for Evil Geniuses, you got to try and pick up that momentum as quick as possible. And it looks like Piachu could be the target here. They were thinking of picking on Roland, but as soon as they see Vin, they decide, yeah, we've got to back up. Mule even going to be coming in on that Mimikyu as well, so it could be a 3 versus 3. Here comes Mule, gets the KO onto the poor old Chansey, and already down to a 2 versus 3 situation in this top lane.
Ooh, and they're staying pretty aggressive to try to space out. Obviously, that was a really, really fast KO way before the spawns at the 850 mark, so they're just choosing to take space instead. Vin trying to check the tall grass again, saying, oh no, wait, Mule's still there, but they've got 3-on-3 now. And
why is this not connecting?
The mobility, the movement, or I should say the
Guys,
actual pushing, the crowd control of
look,
the Lucario to make sure they get so much.
I did 170k against a team like this. I'm in I'm in Ultra 5.
That was almost a really bad situation for Zipto, but they're going to stay ahead.
That was really sad.
Both teams just trying to bait each other into a possible play. Oh, looks like Miraidon was caught in that bottom lane though, so that's going to be a little victory here for Evil Geniuses to assert some more control down in that bottom lane.
We watched
the
game.
Get Ward, that will be another bonus, but yeah, Kyrios is deciding, I want this experience as well. I'm not going to try and waste my time trying to get that little Pilus line. It's not the... Yeah, Ward's not really worth trying to KO here. It's just get as much experience as possible and just snowball, because especially with that Scyther lineup, we did see earlier today, right, Chef, that with Scyther, if your team can keep up with the momentum of a Scyther, you are just going to go for those back-to-back fights, and you should be able to get that experience winning your team fights. But Ducky going to be coming in just to slow that assault down from Mule, and it looks like right now Evil Genius is looking to compete for this Regidrago. Oh, the SP
they get it.
To get the secure.
Oh, and but their jungler goes down.
They do get the knockout onto the Scyther. They're trying to
I'm surprised we haven't seen more Mimikyu.
Big there. So yeah, it looks like
I know a lot of people really like Trick Room
They
Mimikyu.
didn't get quite as much out of that, even though they kind of felt like they won that fight, like pretty significantly, but they weren't able to catch that many targets. They weren't able to get the secure, so altogether, I mean, that's pretty good for Evil Geniuses. They've kind of got to fight back into this, as we're starting to see Mule really pop off on this Mimikyu. It's going to be so hard to deal with, especially as time goes on. This is a pick that's been so good, but very rarely banned. We do see a points lead, though, for Evil Geniuses, and that's pretty important. Not the hugest points lead in the role, only 52, but it's at the point where they can sit a little bit more confident. They may be able to get the quicker zone breaks if they do so choose so. And Regirock being threatened down by both teams. Little 1v1 up top, 4v4 on bottom. It's a little bit of a classic situation in Pokemon Unite, and they do manage to find Roland and at least bully him back towards that tier 1 goal zone.
Ducky coming in with the snarl, seeing if he can try and catch some.
He lost his passive.
Them, but the secure by Kyrios, beautiful stuff for Evil Genius' second objective of the game.
Kyrios.
They also pick up the Mimikyu as well. Now they want to try and jump in.
Oh, I forgot.
What's that Mirage? And if he can get it, the Bliss assist though, even helping Vin out. But
that's why I'm going for Evil Geniuses.
But the thing is, for Evil Geniuses, they're happy. They got the objective. They're getting those knockouts. They're slowly building that lead that they want because they have to win this set.
This is
nice
a
overkill.
Pretty big turning point here. I mean, like I said, I feel like Mule running away with things obviously was level 9, was the highest in the game, but that was a really big pick to be able to take them out and then get the objective and everything just go in the direction of Evil Geniuses in those team fights. And a lot of it is off the back of Kyrios being able to secure a lot of these objectives. Obviously, one of the best.
Because Kyrios is one of the best
right now, and certainly the Secure to be looking for in this game.
He's like
So as we get
the
a little bit further,
backbone
we're
of
gonna
a
make sure that they're
team.
taken out for objectives and just using the Unite to just try to get out of there. I mean, just a 2v4, or actually, I'm sorry, 2v5. Every single member of Zipto all kind of roaming together at this point, maybe trying to see if they can catch somebody out, trying to follow them. But at this point, they don't have that many targets to go to. Maybe the top Reggie pretty soon.
Yeah, actually, going back onto that Unite from the Umbreon, I actually think Ducky made a good call there, right? Because if you're leading, you don't really want to give anything away to Zipto, not even breadcrumbs.
That's not exactly
so if
true.
it requires a Unite to get out, sure, but you've got to keep up that momentum. Looks like up
Sorry.
top, though, Reggie Alecki, Zipto really
Oh, I should
want
have
this. They've just
voted
got
on
to keep an eye
on
Kyrgios,
Evil
because you can see that
Geniuses.
Espeon waiting in the wings, looking to get the steal, but no, just a little bit too late. The Lucario secures that. And all of a
Unfortunate.
sudden, it's going to be Evil Geniuses sent back to their goal zone, waiting
They're gonna
for that
all
Reggie
head bot,
Alecki.
aren't
Now, the
they?
question is, what does Zipto want to do? They're not going to go push, and instead, they're going to try and go for a attack in that bottom lane instead.
We do see an interesting stagger between the basement and the top Reggies, right? We are going to see the next one spawn, and then once this one's done, we're not going to be that far off from the top one spawning again. So we are definitely in a weird rotation kind of set, and a lot of times we see them taking down at the same time. Not this time, though. And trying to take out this goal zone, this tier 1 is going to be huge for spacing, trying to take that once it spawns. They're not quite able to get it. They did manage to pick up a KO, but not able to break that goal zone or even
Oh, I
get a
thought
single
they.
point in as they have so
I
much
thought
in
they.
pocket.
I thought the
Christmas is
Mimikyu
gonna be
got it.
chasing them, and numbers
Huh.
advantage or health
Bet
advantage
someone
for
got their
tier
score
4
off.
Evil Geniuses. They also, of course, do have that secure as long as Kyrgios is there, and Kyrgios is definitely there. So Zipto actually not even challenging this, realizing that they are just not at the health they want to be. Maybe just going back up top, trying to take down the tier 1 goal zone, maybe trying to go center for the Regidrago, but not anywhere but basically down there.
Yeah, this is actually the disadvantage of not running that classic support Pokemon on the side of Zipto, right? Like, they don't have any Pokemon like a Blissey.
Rejectus is so strong.
So I think Evil
That I
Geniuses
just.
understanding this, they know
I
that
think
if
the
they're able to
only
come into
team
that
that could
fight with full health,
probably go
Zipto either
against
has
them
to
is,
make a
might be
really,
Fennel.
really risky call,
All things
or they're
considered.
gonna have to abandon the fight now. Looks like they do want to try and go for a battle here. Ward coming in on that Mammoth Swipe, but
Oh,
Vin just doing
W.
absolute work in the back lines there, just cutting through the front lines. They do get the Mimikyu, and that's huge too, because
Mamo
Mimikyu
unites to get
is the one
out.
to set the pace here for Zipto. So
Sure.
without that Mimikyu, I kind of feel like
You
Zipto
should
is
just
feeling
back.
a little bit lost as a team.
Right, I agree with that completely. Every single time that they've lost the Mimikyu,
I hate this.
their
I
team
hate
fights
when
have
they do
somewhat
this. I don't
struggled.
care.
Of course, it's just the strongest Pokemon on the team. Rhydon's starting to catch up, but it's looking a little bit more tough. They're going to re-engage Mule, of course, on that Mimikyu, but not quite in time to save that tier 1 gold zone. Not a huge overdunk, I don't believe, but they're ahead by 192 points, which is just such a ridiculous amount. And they want to push that even further. Obviously, being able to take down that tier 1 gold zone right before taking a Regieleki is going to make it that much more dangerous. Zipto, though, continuing to just rotate. They've been rotating. They're all the way on bottom now. We'll see what defense they bring for the Regieleki, but they've got to try to do something here because the lead is slowly falling out of their hands like sand.
Yeah, I think it's reaching that very critical point here for Zipto, where if the gap is just too big, they're gonna have to go for that final objective, right? Like, you've got to go for that Groudon. And if they aren't able to get that, then it's gonna be, I don't want to say it's impossible, but in most cases, I kind of feel like a game is lost if you are as behind as Zipto is right now. We've got 40 seconds to go here, so one last opportunity to try and grab those points or to break a goal.